Jeremiah Love. The fucking man. Fucking Green Bay, that fucking touchdown from Tucker Kraft, that shit was fire. Inside screen.
Going into Sunday Night Football, in one league, I was down by 48 points, and I needed, and I had, Herbert, Cooper Kupp, and Saquon, so I wasn't like feeling. I was like, oh, between those two guys, they can get 48 easily, and then Saquon got all 48 plus some by himself.
He was on fire.
I think he had more yards for just himself than the Giants had as a team yesterday.
No, I like that he's got hope for his boy Daniel Jones. What I don't like is seeing that Daniel Jones wants to go to a contending team. I don't know why I keep seeing that.
Daniel Jones hopes to play for contending team. Contending team hopes.
He's gonna go fucking.
Doesn't want to play for them.
He's gonna be the new quarterback for the fucking.
He's gonna be a fucking Saint.
He's gonna be a fucking Raider, dude. He's going to the Raiders.
He should go to the Cowboys.
He's going to the Raiders. Minshew broke his fucking collarbone.
Yeah.
He needed a quarterback.
But it'd be hilarious if he went to the Cowboys. Come on.
It would.
Or the Jets. I think it'd be better in the Jets. I mean, you don't even change stadiums.
Yeah,
like I heard that they were going to release Aaron Rodgers, and I've been trolling fucking Jets fans.
I just want him to go to the Cowboys and then beat the Giants in the football game.
Right, dude. Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would.
He's scoring touchdowns at home now, guys.
He is.
That would be great, actually. Let's see. I want to see that.
Going into MetLife.
They'll fucking find a way to get on the Saints or some shit. That'll be Mickey Loomis' last hurrah with the Saints. Give us Daniel Jones.
Fucking game man, dude. I'll be like listening, like you say like the most subtle shit, or I'm like, this motherfucker, dude, wants to like. I say carnage and chaos. That's just mean, game man. That's just mean, brother.
Cool.
Who would want that? Can I bring my Mountain Dew in here?
You know who the fucking Jets need? The Jets need to hire a coach that's going to be like when Shanahan took over in Denver with John Elway. And fucking chews his ass on the sideline.
Yeah.
After he makes mistakes, even though he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Dude.
Hall of Fame guy. He couldn't even take accountability for a loss against Ray Davis and Josh Allen.
Dude,
you're going to blame a loss to
He's been doing this. See, I have a theory, bro. Like, money, and he's always been this way. He just finally has a platform where he's no longer with a team that's going to just let him
do it.
You know what I mean? Like, money only exposes more of who you are. It doesn't change you. Like, A-Rod never changed. He's always been this way. He just now has a platform through whatever, because of his past and MVPs, and people value that, where, like, he's always wanted to talk this shit. He's always wanted to just, point the other finger the other way and not point the finger at me, because he used to play for a team that squarely would point the finger at the quarterback come hell or high water. He's despised Brett Favre for how Brett Favre treated him, that he's turning into the thing that he despised. Like, overnight. You know, and it's so wild to me, like watching that guy go from like when he first started, where he wanted to rip your fucking heart out and serve it to you, to this, where it's just like a shell of himself playing football, dude. It's so crazy to me, dude. It really is. And like, who would have thought leading into this season that Salah's fired, the GM's fired, Aaron Rodgers completely sucks. When even just a couple of years, the year before last, all Packers are stupid for getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. We got rid of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones in consecutive years. Got Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs and haven't missed a beat.
Been right on track.
Organizations, brother. Organizations. Steelers.
Been right on track.
You know, I mean, like, yeah, the Broncos, but like, they can't. I don't know, man. There's teams that just like, all right, like, we're gonna figure it out. There's gonna be a few down years. Look at the Raiders. They've been rebuilding for fucking how long?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Steelers fucking can lose everybody and like, oh yeah, and they'll still finish over 500 at least.
We'll still be.
You know what I mean? Like we're gonna give ourselves an opportunity to at least make the playoffs. You know, and that's really all I really care about. You know, I don't know. Football's nuts, dude. It's fucking crazy because there's no like sure way to, do it. There's multiple ways to like build a winning team or like develop a franchise or like develop a player. There's no like one way. Like, oh yeah, easy crock pot recipe off TikTok. Like, nope. You know, you can just be fucking the most mid-ass motherfucker and just go to the right squad.
Yeah. It's all about basically taking what you have and utilizing everything's strengths while minimizing their weaknesses,
Or at least being able to recognize, their weaknesses and don't ask that player to do something that they're not fucking good at.
Like keep them out of situations where they would need to be doing these things,
We had our starting center on like when he first came to our team, Josh Myers, second round pick from Ohio State, blocked for Justin Fields and like that quarterback before. He won a national championship there at Ohio State his like freshman year. Josh Myers did, and we had him like on our like field goal kick team as like one of the, not like the long snapper, but like one of the guys next to the long snapper, and he was so fucking bad. But for every year up until last season when we got Rich Bisaccia, he was like one of the guys, and he's getting fucking bull rushed for fucking block kicks, block punts. He was out there. He's on the field goal and block team, and he got bull rushed, knocked over. They blocked a fucking punt. San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs with Jimmy Garoppolo. And fans are like, "That's your starting center. Like he has to play better." It's like, no, maybe he's just not good at that. Maybe he's just a badass real center. He can't play guard. You know what I mean? Because that's what he's doing. He's not snapping the ball. He's just playing fucking right guard or left guard off of the fucking long snapper. Maybe he's just not good at that. Maybe we don't put him in that position anymore. We get Rich Bisaccia. He's no longer fucking there. Gee, I wonder why the fuck that happened. You know what I mean? Like, recognizing that is like so important. But Bears don't do it. Saints don't do it either, Dave. I'm sorry.
I was watching that Bears
We're
game.
helping Derek Carr. We're not making him audible shit. We're just
Well, I mean, like some of your other defensive players, I'm like, I don't know. Big guys trying to play, your middle linebacker. Like, he's not a sideline to sideline guy, and he's trying to play sideline to sideline.
That's just Demario Davis.
That's
like
Demario
fucking
Davis.
50 years old. Like,
yeah.
He used to be able to do that on the Jets.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's like, he's trying.
He's trying.
He's trying his hardest.
Yeah. Yeah, that Bears game was funny. We can talk about that later.
I was just watching.
I watched that whole game. I was laughing the entire time.
I was watching. I'm like, man, when the Bears inevitably end up losing this in heartbreaking fashion, it's just gonna be...
it's just a matter of time. It was an inevitability for sure. It was a Thanos game, no doubt.
Yeah. I was waiting for them.
I can't believe they recovered an onside kick. Like, what was that Minnesota Vikings player doing, dude? Like, you don't have to return the ball if it's like, because he tried to like scoop it and it like clanged off his hands and his feet.
Yeah, that's just
like, bro, just dive on the ball. The game's over. Like, what are we talking about? Bears fans are going nuts because their quarterback's rolling out of the pocket, running for his life, and making throws Fields used to. I got a couple stats from that game in the second half that they showed on TV. We got some from Jeremiah Love and also Saquon Barkley, dude. I don't know if you guys knew this. So I got this written out. Saquon, his game yesterday was a top 5 rushing game of all time, 255 yards. In the last 2 weeks, he has 560 yards from scrimmage. That's the most since Walter Payton in 1977.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, he's having the time of his life there, too.
In the second half, Caleb Williams, in the second half, in the pocket, 1 of 9, 11 yards. Outside of the pocket, 9 of 10, 99 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you can't throw from inside the pocket.
That's what
They
they fucking threw the guy under the bus, dude. Like, we don't lifted up the rug and just threw his ass under, dude.
He just has a bunch of bad habits in the fucking pocket. You can't throw in the pocket because the O-line's so bad.
And they showed, like his feet stop. So, like, he doesn't do anything under center. So it's all shotgun. Like, he lines up in shotgun with his left foot back. So when he drops back, he's already in his second step. And then when he plants, his feet are, like, still. So he's, like, throwing flat-footed across the middle of the fucking field. Not going to work. You got to be able to drive the fucking ball, you know what I mean?
It's the same thing that Bryce Young used to do. Like, there would be plays that the pocket would break down where he could step up into it and make a throw, and he wouldn't step up in the pocket because
his feet are planted.
His feet are planted, and if he steps up in the pocket, he's going to get fucking crushed.
Yeah.
Like, my ribs and shoulders hurt, so I'm just going to stand behind him.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust the line enough to step up.
He did. Caleb did drop a dime, though, yesterday in the first half when he was fucking.
I think I put it in the top plays. That was a pretty nice throw.
Yeah. He ran out of a clean pocket, though.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean? Step up in the fucking pocket and throw the ball down the field. You hit the guy in stride, and it's a fucking touchdown. You know, yeah, it was a big gainer, but, like, it's a walk-in touchdown. The guy's 10 yards wide open. Yeah, it's tough there in Chicago right now. But at least their offensive coordinator looks way better than what the fuck they've had.
They look
way different. They're using motion. They're finally getting their tight end coming across the line of scrimmage and helping that fucking chip block when you're running off tackle.
Yeah, and against some pretty good defensive fronts, they've done a good job of keeping Caleb out of like he's still sacked some, but he's not getting battered around.
Yeah.
So
nothing like 9 sacks to the Patriots.
Right, like they're doing a better job of keeping them upright. I mean, against the Packers and Vikings, you're probably going to give up some sacks regardless. They're very good.
Yeah.
I'm pressuring quarterbacks, but
And they only gave up 3, but it really didn't seem like those 3. You know, they gave up 1 in the first quarter, and then they went the whole game, and then we got 2 at the end of the last drive of the game. So it looked like we got more than we did, but they pretty much shut us out pressure wise. We got a lot of pressures. We didn't got no sacks though. We had 1 in the first quarter, and then 2 in the fourth, and then that was it. And the Vikings didn't blitz them at all yesterday. They had their lowest blitz rate. They just dropped 8. They didn't need to. You know, I was a Bear fan yesterday though, dude, because I knew if we beat San Fran, they get that extra loss. We still play Minnesota. We could jump them for that 5th seed. I don't want to be a fucking 6th seed in the wild card. A lot of football left, you know, still 7 games or whatever, but yeah, we needed some fucking help from the Bears yesterday on the fucking Vikings, and they fucking screwed me.
They did. I'm
like, God damn it, guys. Where's this fucking defense at? Oh, your whole team's under 20 points every game. That fucking went out the goddamn window.
Yeah.
You got fucking drove down whenever.
That disappeared real quick.
Aaron Jones, dude, makes a career off the Chicago Bears, dude. I'm telling you, he had a great game yesterday. Why? He played the fucking Chicago Bears in Chicago. You know, he had 9 touchdowns last year, in the regular season. 6 of them came against the 2 Bears games. You know what I mean? He had 3 in the first game, and then he had 2 in the fucking second. Jesus, dude.
And Jacobs, he looks good, though.
Dude. Yeah.
Audie's a workhorse.
I'm fucking keeping my mouth. I don't want to jinx it, dude.
Oregon State, Pac-12 champions after beating Washington State. They have a losing record.
They beat the only other team in the conference. They got hype on that one.
I swag. I serve.
Hey, we got conference championship clinching
Guys wanna do 'em?
scenarios.
Mic check real quick.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few now.
Check, check. Oh yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Hello, hello.
Oh
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can
Perfect.
definitely hear you.
Check.
I think. Am I two? Do you mind turning me up just a touch? There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
Check.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check check check.
You fucking Arizona State, BYU in the Big 12.
We are going live, boys.
Maybe I don't know. Like BYU lost to them again, so it's there's 4 teams at the top of the Big 12 with 2 conference losses.
Oh, hey guys. Something messed up. We're live, but nothing rolled.
Oh, I didn't play the intro?
Nope.
Oh, I'll add it back in.
What's up? Want me to end it?
Oh no, do the intro real quick. I'll add it back into that spot. That's why. I don't know if that's gonna glitch it. I'm debuting a new segment this week. HG.
What's up?
I'm doing a new Monday segment. It's gonna be like Gruden grinders. Calling it putting in work. I'm gonna get some guys through the week or through the season that I think are playing pretty good, and then we'll just talk about them after we go through like the games. After we talk about all the matchups.
Okay.
So I kept it short this week.
I'll serve. Fine, I'll serve. Isn't that? Okay.
We got that new intro in here.
We're gonna make it after the show. Remember?
What's that?
We're gonna make it after the show. Remember today?
Oh, after the show today?
Yeah.
Because I see it right here. Oh, but that's ours. Okay.
Till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio to the final whistle. Caveman to my left, HG to my right. Boys, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was a good weekend,
Great.
Jimmy.
Good.
It was great.
Good weekend.
I got to watch Gladiator yesterday after the Packers beat the San Francisco 49ers. Pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. I would.
New one?
Yeah,
With
Gladiator
Denzel?
2. Yeah,
Okay.
with Denzel.
Okay.
Dude, he plays
Oh.
a ultra.
That's
Dude,
pretty sick.
he's like, I didn't realize he could play because he always plays like a good guy. You know, he plays a good guy. This movie kind of sort of plays like a good guy who turned into a bad guy, who kind of has like a role where you don't quite know what side he's on yet for like the whole movie.
It's like the anti-hero kind of thing.
Very much an anti-hero, yeah, totally. He is, and yeah, I'm not going to give it away, no spoilers, but really good movie. Definitely recommend it for
Alright,
sure.
check that
It
out.
was definitely elite, no doubt
I've
about
seen
it.
a lot of the ads for that one recently. I'll definitely have to check that one out though.
I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I don't want. This isn't mean. This isn't rude. This isn't a shot. Were you guys born when the first Gladiator came out?
Well, I was what?
You were. You
Early-
probably were.
That was early 2000, like 2001.
I want to say it was
2002.
exactly 2000.
Okay, well, I was
Yeah, 2000. So
Right,
I
I was
wasn't born yet.
freshly
Born in
squeezed
2000.
out, but
Oh man, yeah, y'all. I mean,
I wasn't even conscious yet, but I was alive.
I like it. Yeah, dude, that was the movie when I was like a kid, like 13, 14 years old. You go to the movies with your boys. Yeah, are you not entertained with a head getting chopped off?
That was a
Elite.
good movie.
It was elite. It was
Good
definitely elite, no doubt about it.
Yeah, 2000. I was born in 2003, so.
Shout out caveman. Shout out
103.
caveman.
Shout out the year 2003.
Shout out
Oh.
the year 2002.
All right, well, guys, crazy
Good week.
weekend
NFL
in the
football
NFL.
frenzy today,
Yeah.
boys.
Oh yeah.
I
We
got
are here for it.
the rundown on all the scores this weekend. A lot of great games. We started on Thursday night. A whiteout game, man. I mean,
Snowball.
that was a football game.
Love
on
those
Thursday
games.
night.
Love those games.
Just an absolute blizzard between Browns and Steelers. Browns, man, coming out on top. Gotta love Jameis Winston going out there, getting the boys fired up, pulling out a 24-19 victory.
He always does it, man.
Well, bad news, Giants fans.
Him and Baker Mayfield single-handedly are keeping the fun in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
By far.
the most fun QBs in the league.
Must-watch television. You don't know if they're going to win or lose, but they're going to make it entertaining.
And
You're making a good
their
point.
personalities, man. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Baker more so on the field, like he just
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
so fired up, but like Jameis.
Pre-game, I'll run through a wall for that guy.
Oh my god.
If he was a military general, we have conquered Russia already.
Jameis Winston, I think it should just be a requirement
just
that he
it.
has to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because he always says the funniest.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Yeah.
He's kind of a maniac when he's talking to the media sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just the
It's
best
great.
part of his personality.
That's great. So bad news, Giants fans. Tommy DeVito is not going to save your season, at least not against the Buccaneers.
No.
They just got absolutely dog walked in their own stadium by
One
Tampa.
of Jimmy Cover's best bets of the weekend was Tampa Bay -7.5. Easy.
That covered
Easily.
easily. 30-7 the final there.
They gave me the money by the third quarter.
Huge win that the Bucks really needed to. Bryce Young, man, they took the Chiefs down to the wire.
I
Kansas
sent
City-
a message. I was like, "Hey boys, this thing's tied
Yep.
with
Kansas
30
City.
seconds left." And I was watching other games, and I was like, "Oh, who cares about the Chiefs Panthers game?"
That's 27.
I'm like, it's
27
yeah.
next time you
And the
win.
Chiefs were up they were up pretty big. Like it was like 20-9 or something like that
Yep.
to start the game. And I was like,
They were up by 11 at 2 separate points in the second
Oh,
half, and
yeah.
the Panthers still came back and tied it up. They were up 20-9 at one point, then they were up 27-16 at another point, and the Panthers still managed to come back and tie it.
That's crazy.
Ultimately, Kansas City does escape. It was like,
Field goal, like
yeah,
10 seconds left.
the Panthers, they scored with like a minute 41 left. And you're like, oh, here's the same old tired script. Mahomes is going to take the Chiefs down the field, use up all the clock. They're going to
Needed 2 penalties for the record. Needed
Yeah.
2 penalties.
And-
They ended up-
I don't know if you saw that like huge run he had to get him down in the field goal range. 23 on the Panthers.
Oh yeah, they just
What
won't tackle.
What the hell are you doing?
They're so worried about getting flags now because you set the precedent in the freaking Cincinnati Bengals game that you can't hit this guy on the sideline or when he's moving. So I mean, you're going to see DBs like making a business. Is hey, I'm not making that much money. I'm going to get fined $75,000 just for touching this guy.
It's just it bothers me. You can't keep getting away with it.
Really?
Somebody just
Yeah.
needs to take that guy out. Like,
Somebody's going to Shedeur Sanders that guy. 100%.
exactly.
Gonna take
He needs a
his
slice of humble pie. He needs to realize he can't.
Oh, it's
just
coming.
Run around like
It's
that.
coming, Mercury. Don't worry.
All right,
Hopefully.
man.
Oh, it's
Low-key,
coming.
kind of the game of the week. This game was insane. Cowboys, Commanders,
Dude,
absolutely nuts. Final
we're gonna show
Minute
some of
of
those
that
plays on top plays coming up, but
Yeah, there's some
Absolutely.
insane-
34
a
to
muff
26.
punt for a return, onside kick return for a touchdown, a long Hail Mary with 30
80-yard touch.
80-yard touchdown. Then you shank the extra point to tie it. You onside kick it. Then that goes for a touchdown. Insane
Some-
football game.
Some pandemonium.
Peak
there, at
football,
least.
right
Peak
there.
football,
That's
brother.
what you need to see.
Peak football.
And that was like the first game of the day.
Yeah,
It was.
right there in the 11 o'clock window. There's always some gems in there.
There is.
Miami, man, they're back, I think. Just smoking the Patriots at home. I didn't know this. Tua is 7-0 now in his career against the Patriots.
Yeah.
But dominated them. Patriots got a couple of garbage time touchdowns to make the final
Yeah.
score a little closer, but 34-14. But this game was like 31-0 going
Pretty
into the
much.
fourth.
Yeah, 24 unanswered points in the second quarter alone.
They pulled their starters. Tennessee with a
Upset.
big upset in Houston.
Upset of the
Let's go.
weekend, boys.
32-27. Will Levis starting to look like a kind of decent quarterback. I'm not gonna lie. He had some nice deep balls. Really, he did a decent job of protecting the ball outside of the pick six he threw. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Their Tennessee's season's pretty much over. They're like 3-8, but maybe you're finding some things to build on for next year.
Houston's lucky. That division's garbage, dude.
Yeah,
They really are.
because they are not a good team.
They're sort of in that sophomore slump, man. Like,
Yeah.
they got some film on you. It's always tough, you know.
I mean, they took Joe Mixon out of the equation, and that game just got way
22
closer.
yards.
Yeah.
And yeah, when like Tennessee's, they're able to just like run the ball really well.
Yep.
Tony Pollard's best game.
Yeah. Tony Pollard's best game for sure.
Exactly. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, a number of other guys were just
They did,
pounding
yeah.
Will Levis, and despite that,
Yeah.
still were able to put up 32.
19 pressures and 5 sacks. That's, yeah. And you lose. That is crazy work. At
Exactly.
home, too.
The Lions continuing their dominance, just shut the Colts
Did you guys see any of that game?
Colts
Lions are kinda-
man.
The Lions are
Colts kind of.
The Lions are getting very, very lucky that they're playing some bad teams that just don't want to win football games. They don't have to do a whole heck of a lot in some of these. Jared Goff is not your quarterback of the future if you're watching these Detroit Lions games.
Man, I had to play him in fantasy football this week. Joe Burrow was on bye, and I was like, well, the Colts defense is kind of trash. It should be all right. And then, of course, it's exclusively rushing touchdowns this game.
Yeah.
When the week before he throws for 412.
He got
four TDs he's on my bench. So I got 48 points on the bench. I got to throw him in the starting lineup, and he scores 10.
No. Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, did he even score for 9 points?
38-point swing.
Yeah.
He had a lot of
Week
yards. He just didn't get in the end zone.
Get in the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kept getting it inside the 10, and it was like Montgomery Gibbs.
Yeah.
That was kind of a boring game. Colts are just terrible.
I feel bad for Lions fans, man.
Vikings Bears, another thrilling game that went into overtime. Bears found a way to lose it in heartbreaking fashion
Yeah,
again.
they sure
Of course.
Got it. All this work, recovered an onside kick,
They were grinding.
and then Caleb Williams threw an absolute strike to the middle of the field.
Wide open.
Yeah, it was wide open. It was
I
still a
mean-
strike.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotta hit him.
1 out of
Yeah,
9 ain't bad.
Huh.
1 out of 9 ain't bad.
anyway,
At least he got one.
ties the game up, sends it into overtime just for the Vikings to get the ball after their first drive stalls, and then they just methodically worked it down the field into like an easy chip shot field goal for the win.
I was a Bears fan yesterday too, man. I needed the Bears, big time Packers fan here for new listeners out there, and we're right there in the division, and we're kind of battling the Vikings right now with just one less loss than them. And I'm like, man, if the Bears can upset, we still got one more with the Vikings. We're gonna have an opportunity to sort of take control, be the 5th seed. Yeah, kind of tough, but
Jordan
Bears will be the Bears, man. Bears will be the Bears.
Oh, Allison absolutely went
62.
off.
A touchdown, and Hawkinson over 100 yards receiving too.
Glad to see he's back. They've been
Oh, yeah.
missing him all year.
Oh yeah.
If you are in the NFC North, you definitely don't like to see that Hawkinson's returned into form too. That's just another thing you got to worry about playing the Vikings. It's good. NFC North, get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be such
End of the year
Yeah,
with those
yeah.
3 teams.
There's
it's
a
gonna be
lot
crazy.
of division games coming up too.
A
Oh,
lot.
my God.
Close, boys.
It's gonna be
It's
crazy.
gonna get freaking close.
Getting into the afternoon window, we have the Broncos playing the Raiders. Kind of a closer game. Vegas came out. That
First half, they were like, "Hey,
yeah, we
you
want
know, they had kind of control in that game for a little bit," and I was like, "All right." And in the second half, I think they came out in the second half like, "Oh yeah, we're tanking. We need
We
to
forgot.
lose.
It was kind of like the same thing that happened last game.
Why are we winning?"
It took longer for the momentum to shift. Where like Vegas they were doing good. They looked like they were in control, and then we got an interception,
Yeah.
and then it all just swung back to the.
Well, that's what happened this game too.
Who broke my boy Garner Minshew's collarbone?
I think it was Jonah Ellis, or it was one of the linebackers. It was either Ellis or Cody Barton. combining for a sack with I think Malcolm Roach.
Oh, so you just got smushed between the
You guys had the ball
That's
31 freaking minutes, dude.
Yeah,
that
and, like, the
interception
crazy part-
from Jones, and then the neck.
the
like,
Broncos
2 plays
threw the
later.
ball a lot. Like we controlled the clock primarily passing the football. We did not run it a whole lot.
Yeah, 262 passing yards.
And like Bo Nix is throwing the ball a lot on first down, and it's kind of working now.
273 total passing yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's a good formula with Sean Payton.
Estimate
you
only
gotta play
getting
with some nuts.
only
man,
getting
to be
3
Sean Payton
handoffs
quarterback.
against this defense is actually
Exactly. We
It's
gotta
actually
use
kinda
Estimate
crazy.
more.
That's
why-
actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He's going to set you up for a lot of second and third and shorts, man. If you run him on first down. I saw that you guys were passing the ball a lot in first down
Yeah.
and then running it on second and third down, or try and get back on track play, and then throw. 'Cause
That's what killed
Bo
him in the
Nix
beginning.
definitely 42 passing attempts. That's just a lot. I don't
There's a
know if
lot
that's
of
the
run
Broncos
plays
game plan
early
long term.
too. There's a lot of run plays early for them too, where they got caught behind the sticks. Like they would try to run it on first, and it'd get like first, second, and 15 would be
Yeah.
the next play, and then they might get a penalty. Like that was what we really saw from them in the first half. But once Jones got that pick, Minshew threw it 5 yards away from his receiver to a Broncos DB, and then 2 plays later, Sutton's mossing Jack Jones. I was like,
Yeah.
the Broncos
Well,
are going to win the
like
game.
Minshew's defense
The
on the
game's over.
interception, he did get hit. Like he did take a hit when he was trying to throw the football.
Okay,
The,
I
pre-
didn't
the
see that.
pressure
I thought he just
generated
threw it.
that throw.
Yeah, I thought he just threw a nasty one.
Yeah, when they went up 16-13, I was like, okay.
So the Broncos won it.
Gotta get it back in control. The second we get a lead against like a bad team like that, I feel pretty confident that their defense isn't going to let us up.
Yeah, he's going to let you up.
Some suspect clock management things that we'll get into when we do a deeper dive of individual matchups. But ultimately, a good 29-19 win in Vegas. The Packers just
Let's go.
dog walked the 49ers.
Let's go.
Brendan
Let's
Allen was like starting his first NFL game in 3 years, and boy, what a place to do it in prime, like the prime time afternoon
Yeah.
slot.
Fox
On
game of the
Lambeau
week.
Field.
Great start for him.
Yeah, thank God we did that, man.
It was
we had to. It was raining. It was
raining, yeah.
a little bit. It was off and on. It wasn't as
Yeah.
bad as it normally is, or what it's going to be on Thanksgiving. I guess they're going to get dumped on Thanksgiving. So we're going to have a snow game up there. It's going to be a snow globe situation. 2 in a snow game. For his lifetime. So we'll see how that
See how
works
that
out.
goes, yeah.
But this game, the weather was pretty much okay. It was more colder, the players were saying, than the wet ball, because it was just sort of misty and it wasn't as bad as it normally is. But I'm glad we got that win, man. Like, we ran the ball, we controlled the clock. We got off the schneid. I think that we've won the last 3 regular season matchups against the San Francisco 49ers, but we've lost the last 3 postseason matchups to the San Francisco 49ers. Niners out their 4 best players really, with Ayuk, Trent Williams, Bosa, and obviously Brock Purdy. And I think we kind of did what I wanted to do. Run the ball with Josh Jacobs, control the clock, no errors by Jordan Love. Blitz this Brandon Allen kid, which we did, forcing 3 turnovers, including an interception by my guy Xavier McKinney. So what a lifeline that guy's been for our secondary.
Oh yeah, 7
Amazing.
interceptions this year.
I mean, we had 6 total last year. So and this guy's got 7 by himself. Packers tied for second with most turnovers in the NFL. Defense playing okay. We still play some soft zone coverage that you can like really attack us between the 20s, but we're pretty aggressive once you get down there. Sack wise and interception wise, we turn the ball over in the red zone, seemingly more than anybody in the NFL. We had to win that game. That was a must-win game, if you ask me, for the Green Bay Packers, with all these players out and the playoff history, that we've had with them. Must-win game.
That was puts a chip on the Packers' shoulders, especially when you guys stop the run that well.
Yeah.
That's what like a big struggle for you guys all year, and you held Christian McCaffrey to 31 yards.
Yeah.
That's freaking insane.
You know who still is the main dude that I think he's a little bit of a sleeper. George Kittle, dude, is the people think, he's just a blocking tight end. He kept him in it. That touchdown, we were throwing layers at this guy on our defense. shipping him off the line, so he gave him no free releases. I was extremely happy with that. You give this guy a free release, he's going to catch a football.
It's game over.
We were chipping him at the line.
Yeah.
We were throwing a linebacker, and we had a safety over the top. Because, I mean, they had no IU. Is Debo really a guy that you have to be worried about? No, as we
He
saw.
dropped a pass that led to
He's dropped a few passes that game. And then, so it's like, all right, Kittle's really your number one option in this passing offense. We're throwing multiple, and he's still boxing guys out. He boxed McKinney out and then drove in the middle of the field on our rookie, getting absolutely humiliated by George Kittle for that touchdown.
He's still an elite.
He's rookie. He's an elite tight end. I just think people sleep on him as far as like passing wise as a threat in a passing game, just because San Fran has so many other weapons. He sort of
He's
goes
kinda
unheralded
seen like
because he's a blocking tight end.
And he's seen like a dip in production. Like his early years, he had some crazy games. I remember he had like 200 something receiving yards on the Broncos, which was like an NFL record for a tight end. But then they added all these weapons. You had McCaffrey coming. You kind of had Debo. You had Ayuk. Jawan Jennings was even emerging. It was like, he kind of just was like, he became more of like an afterthought. Like, he's a guy that can be dangerous catching it, but he does more for you blocking. But he is still just an elite receiving threat.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, he's like the best player.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's like he might be the most complete tight end.
I think so. I think so.
This guy will block you into the ground.
Him and Mark Andrews, man. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find two guys that can block and catch like them.
Yeah. You
really would. Because he's like an extra tackle out there.
Oh, exactly. He's an extra tackle that can take the top off of a
defense.
It's
yeah. Tight ends in NFL are coming up.
Because like Kittle's not just like that tight end that's just going to burn you in the short intermediate range. Like he can take it down the field. And he'll blow past your defense if you don't have the right coverage call.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has great speed
over
the top.
Unfortunately, a tight end can't do anything when his team loses 28.
Yeah, and they can't stop a nosebleed on a run.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, man, another one, dude. I could not believe when we got Jacobs and McKinney, dude, in free agency. We just don't get guys like that. Packers more draft and develop, sign their own players. Getting both those players, man. Losing Aaron Rodgers, everybody in the media crushing the Green Bay Packers. You're getting rid of you're going to push out a Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah, we did it once. Worked out okay. Did it again. No big deal. Godsend. Thank you, Goody. Probably GM of the year. If we go on a run and Malik Willis has 3 wins without Jordan Love, I'd probably say Matt LaFleur got to be in the running for Coach of the Year.
Definitely.
You make a run to the playoffs like that. Diamonor Lenoir talking crap pregame. Oh, they're just lucky they're not playing the real us. They don't want to see us, this, that, or whatever. And it's like, well, dude, we were out our quarterback also. We're out Jair Alexander. We've been out Romeo Dobbs and some of our other guys. We've been out players. No excuses. Remember, everybody's talking about – everybody's battling injuries. This is NFL, dude.
Nobody's ever healthy.
Nobody's ever healthy. You have more – you just can't have 4 starters out. 3 of them probably future Hall of Fame players. Trent Williams and, I don't know, dude. So it's going to be tough. But, we did it. You got to do it. We had to do it on the road. You have to do it on the road. This is what the NFL is.
So round out our games of the week, all here in the NFC West, we had a divisional matchup between the Seahawks and Cardinals. Real defensive game.
Dude, that division, man, that division is going to be insane.
Seahawks get a 16-6 win, and then
6-5, 6-5.
Yeah, the Rams got trounced by the Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
I got some stats from Saquon Barkley, dude.
That guy is. I mean, he might have found the perfect fit for him. Him and Jalen Hurts, because people were rightfully talking a lot about that Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry combination and how dangerous that would be. I would say the Jalen Hurts Saquon was even more dangerous.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, just because I think, excuse me, I'm on the wrong name here. Just because I think Saquon Barkley is a little bit more in his prime than Derrick Henry is right now. He's a little bit more of a dynamic runner. Derrick Henry is just full, all bronze, straight downhill. I mean, Saquon can make men miss in open field,
Oh,
like
yeah.
no, and, you know,
Make
a
him
reverse split leg hurdle, full
Get
speed.
him in the flat.
You know,
Both
You
of
really
his,
can
both
use
of his,
whatever you want. With him.
yeah, and you can use him in the
Both
passing
receivers,
game.
yeah.
The screen game is insane with that guy.
both of his long touchdowns he had last night. It was like he just made like one cut, bounced it to the outside, and it was just gone.
Yeah,
Like in a one insanely quick cut where you're like you blink and you miss it. He's just like bam down the sideline and bam into the seam down the field, and then the speed still there, just leaving people in the dust.
I'm just glad that Hurts didn't steal any touchdowns from.
Yeah, thank God.
You know, Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 255 yards, 255 yards on 26 carries. Top 5 rushing game in the history of the NFL, boys. Saquon Barkley in the last 2 games has 560 yards from scrimmage. That is the most in a 2-game stretch since Walter Payton in 1977. Shout out Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, well, I
You
mean,
get
when
the
you're
free
in,
shout out of this
Yes, you
segment.
do.
you're in the same
Yes,
conversations as Sweetness. Yeah, you might be an elite back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now that we wrapped up, before we go and break down these individual matchups this week, I want to.
Joel says, "Where's your shirt at, HG?"
Oh,
It's
I-
right
We'll get
behind
it
him
on
on the chair.
On the chair,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get it.
I'm trying to
Sorry.
show off. I'm proud
Yeah,
of my
he's flexing
Broncos.
the
Okay,
Yeah,
Flexing
I
the
need to
Broncos.
show off the merch. Man.
They got the
They're
win.
looking solid. But,
Thank you for the reminder, though.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. We have to debut a new segment before we get into these individual matchups. Before we break them down, I'm going to call this segment "Caveman's Figuring Out Who's Putting in Work." And for now, I'm going to keep it short. I've got a few guys on this list, but I'm going to kind of make this segment more of my own as time goes on. But it's something I wanted to debut. So, who's putting in work this week? Glaringly obvious: Saquon Barkley for the entire season. Has had how many touchdowns taken away from Jalen Hurts? He's already at 10 this season. And I think it was like 7 or 8 times he got tackled on the 1-yard line.
I mean, just
And
look
that
up how
turned
many
into-
rushing touchdowns Jalen Hurts has.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. However many touchdowns
I'm
Jalen
on
Hurts has on the ground,
I'm on it.
half of those are probably where Saquon
I
Barkley
can think
got
of like
tackled on the
one Hurts rushing touchdown where it wasn't like
He
a
stole
touchdown.
2 from Saquon in the Packers game in Brazil.
Yeah.
At the goal line.
He stole 2 against who was it? Against the Jaguars, I believe. Stole 1 in the Commanders game. I can only think of one rushing touchdown where it was a read option where Hurts kept it from like the 8-yard line and ran it in himself. Or I'm like, okay, I guess I can't say that
Yeah.
was him stealing it. That was Jalen making his own play. But all the rest, it's like Saquon gets him down to the 1, and then
Yeah, he gets down
here
to the
comes
one.
Jalen Hurts. Like, all right, time to pad my
Yeah.
stats.
In the ESPN, I'm looking at it right now. I was checking it out this morning. They have like a projected stats. They're projecting this guy within the next, I think they have 6 games left, 2,151 yards.
Which would be an
15
NFL record.
touchdowns.
For Saquon?
So ESPN's projecting him to break the record, Adrian Peterson's record of rushing yards in a season.
I thought,
I would love
isn't it still Eric Dickerson that has it?
I thought Adrian
'Cause-
broke that.
No, because Dickerson did that in 14 games.
Oh,
I think
so, yeah.
Adrian Peterson broke the 16
The
game.
16 game record.
The 14 game. You need to rush for 2,500 yards in 14 games to break Eric
Oh, yeah.
Dickerson's.
Yeah. That
Because Dickerson broke O.J. Simpson's 14 game rushing record at 2,200.
No, it is still Eric Dickerson.
Yeah,
okay. And yeah,
He's-
that's in 14 games. That is
14
insane.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
That is
he went for
insane.
2105.
2,105 in 14 games.
Yeah.
That is insane, by the way, guys.
So far, he's at 1,392 yards, 10 touchdowns, longest run of 72 yards, and he's only fumbled the ball once. And they're using him pretty well in the receiving game, too. It's only 27 receptions this year, 257 yards. I mean, he's not their leading receiver on that team. You got A.J. Brown. You still have Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert still playing pretty solid this late in his career. So for running back 1, this guy's carrying the load. He went from a team that wanted to give money to Daniel Jones instead of him. He found this fit, and he's making it work. He's making it work. He made it work in New York too. Literally.
Because I think everybody sort of recognized that if Saquon Barkley was like on a legitimate team with just a decent offensive line and like
Right.
just a normal everyday run of the mill quarterback, who
And
could,
maybe some other weapons. So
yeah,
the defense
just an
doesn't feed on
average
him
8-18,
every-
not some dumpster fire like the Giants. I think every football fan sort of recognized that's the guy.
Mhm.
When he's healthy, you can't do anything about injuries. Everybody gets injured, like we've talked about. Like CMC's been banged up.
It happens.
It happens, man. It's a part of the game, dude. So, like, yeah, he has an ankle injury, breaks his collarbone, snake bitten, sort of, has like 6-7 games where it's like, that's the dude.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's the guy that you just get the ball to 25 times and get out of his way. And now he's finally on a team that 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, no big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving.
He's leading the league in rush. Yeah.
He's definitely.
Leading the league in rushing.
First in
I know
rushing
Derrick
yards.
Henry was up there. Derrick
First
Henry is
in
going to be able to break
carries.
that again today because they're going back and forth. Josh Jacobs is third.
Yeah.
And, like, all these guys have moved teams, and they're like, oh, how are they going to do? Looks up pretty good.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs has led the league in rushing with the Oakland Raiders, and now he goes to Green Bay Packers, still top 5. Joe Mixon, pretty good with the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. He changes destination now with the Houston Texans, still top 5 in rushing. Aaron Jones, ex-Packer, top 5 in rushing. He is number 5 in the NFL this year.
I think Mixon might miss the top 5 because he was hurt.
They showed it yesterday. He's number 4, bro.
Oh,
it was Aaron Jones 5, Mixon.
He missed like 3 games,
bro. Exactly. And Aaron Jones has missed 4 games.
Yeah, and all those guys went to
no cap, dude. Yeah,
they all moved. Teams.
All of them have changed. So they did the little thing on during the Green Bay Packers-Niners game. New places, same faces, and they did the top 5 in rushing. Josh Jacobs is number 3. Number 2 is Saquon. Number 1 at that time was Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry will be able to do that again tonight. He's on the Monday night game.
It's crazy,
but
how
still
the
crazy.
Top 3 guys in that list
Dogs.
were the most controversial moves.
Yeah.
Like the Titans getting rid of Derrick Henry. Like we kind of saw it coming, but that's still
huge
one
cap
of the
hit
last
for a
things
team
you
that needed
expect.
cap space.
Yeah, still the last thing you expect for them to get rid of their
Hall of Fame,
alpha Hall of Fame running.
Literally a Hall of Fame.
The Raiders,
day 1 in the Hall. You know,
got 3 QB3s on your team. Why would you not want Josh Jacobs? Let's go ahead and give him away.
Oh, and their run game has been atrocious.
For $6.5 million cap hit, we're paying this guy.
Yeah.
Right, like you got
the third lowest running back in the league, dude.
And even before going into the season, there's no way you wouldn't have Josh Jacobs as a top 10 running back still.
For the Green Bay Packers.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
that is insane, man. That
you
honestly,
pay
though,
that guy?
remember in the offseason when we said how our team's going to beat this like too high shell, and it was like right when the season ended.
Yeah.
And we were talking about a running game renaissance.
Yeah, dude.
This has a high potential. This season alone, you're looking at it.
Yeah, well,
This could be.
If you're in a light box with freaking Derrick Henry, good
He's
luck.
got to get the ball. He's
Good luck.
yeah.
You know what I
You're
mean?
done.
Good luck, dude.
Yeah, the most dominant teams, the teams that are just able to impose their will on other teams, we're seeing have stout running games. You look at the Lions; they can obviously they got
They can run it with
solid
anybody.
knuckles. Yeah, they can
Yeah.
run it down your throat. The Ravens got Derrick Henry. Even the Steelers. I mean, their backs aren't like crazy, but they'll just pound you with them all game.
Yeah, yeah.
They got
Yeah,
a really
yeah.
respectable running game for sure.
Packers and Eagles, their running game's really well. The Bills, honestly, James Cook's not bad, and but Josh Allen's also a threat with his legs.
Yeah.
When they they drop back in coverage, like Allen can just take off and run if the looks aren't there. That's been really dangerous for him. And even the Chiefs, like Pacheco gets hurt, and they'll just hand the ball to Kareem Hunt 24 times a game, and he's not going to gash you, but he'll pop off 6, 7, 8 yard runs all the time.
Oh yeah. And I'm glad you brought up Josh Allen because that brings up my next guy who's putting in work this season. He's playing tonight. I think Josh Allen's kind of
He's on the
overshadowed him a little bit.
He's on the bye week this weekend, man. Oh,
Well,
wait.
that's my guy. He's playing
Oh.
tonight. Justin Herbert. I think Josh Allen a little bit this season is kind of overshadowing him on the play because they're both in a really similar situation where they didn't have a lot to work with. A lot of their weapons left in the offseason. You thought the team would be going into a rebuilding phase. No way, man. This guy, he's kind of in the middle of the pack right now in touchdowns and yards as far as QBs go. But he's protected the ball so well. Only one interception this season in total. And he's throwing to Quentin Johnston, freaking Joshua Palmer, and Will Dissly.
And don't forget about the boy Lad McConkey.
And
Yeah.
Lad McConkey. I can't forget
The
about
most
him.
average white dude in the NFL.
He's pretty good still. But I mean,
He's a
this
good
guy,
zone beater.
yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true. He's got the speed.
Line him up in the slot, run him through zones. Yeah, he'll gash you. But I do see like what you're saying. Like he's against man. How well is he going to do?
If you don't give him a free release too, like he's so small. He's bird chested. He's like so bird chested. Like he looks like Toad with his helmet too big for his head.
I'm saying when he torched the Saints, man, you have the cheese stick build,
Yeah, right.
the string cheese build.
Yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah. He looks like he kind of has like that basketball player body playing wide receiver, and his face mask and helmet are all weird. I don't know. I don't like that guy just because he has like a weird helmet. His drip on the field, I don't know. I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him. But
Back to our boy
with
Justin
Harbaugh,
Herbert.
yeah, Justin Herbert, he's
This
the man.
guy, they've had some pretty
They just
tough
had shit
matchups
coaching,
this
man.
season. Cincinnati, they took them down in that game. I mean, going head-to-head matchup, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase against Justin Herbert and freaking the till the final whistle boys as his receivers.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they go out and win.
That's true.
They go out and win that game. Pretty commanding win until the end of the game against the Broncos when they're up like 23-3
Yeah.
for most of that game.
We did all our work in the fourth quarter, but it was like too late in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, they lost a one-possession game to the Chiefs. So far this season,
Some
they
controversial
look,
calls in that Chiefs game too
Yeah.
down the stretch where it's
Yeah.
like you're like really a terrible. Mahomes had a terrible interception that got like he forced an awful ball into double coverage, taken away via penalty.
It's not really just his passing that I've been looking at. It's him in the rushing attack that's really kind of showing it. He's throwing it to these random guys. Well, not random. They're NFL players. They're good enough to be in the pro level, so they're still good. But watching this guy on the ground, 65 rushing yards with the one that broke out for 30 yards against the Bengals. He had a rushing touchdown and 32 yards against the Titans, 49 yards and a 38-yard run against the Saints. I mean, he's not just being a pocket passer and a game manager. He's like, when moments are needed for him to take the game into his hands, he can do that.
Like he's not just Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels, but Herbert. He knows when he needs to use his legs, and he's pretty athletic, and he can move for a guy that's 6'5".
He's
Or
6'6", which I didn't even
Yes.
know that until I pulled it up this morning. Like 6'6", man. He's got a huge frame. Being able to move like that is pretty hard to come by when you coming out of a throwing motion to go and run out of the pocket. Not an easy thing to do when you got guys that are just as fast as you coming after you with the ball. That leads me to my last and final one. I'm sure I'll find a way to trash talk this guy because he's on Tampa. But Bucky Irving this week, dude, was killing the Giants.
Can I say, has he been the best rookie running back this season? I think so. Who's been better? I mean, Blake Corum hasn't really gotten a whole lot of use. The guy from USC, have the Packers even had him come onto the field?
Nope. We don't play bait.
Yeah.
If you're a rookie, you gotta be either defense or
Yeah.
you need 4 injuries ahead of you to happen if you're gonna play as a rookie for the Green Bay
Trey
Packers.
Benson, he just gets spot work for Arizona. Same Estime hasn't gotten a ton of carries.
But I would put him over Estime regardless
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm Bucky. He's
Yeah.
the only one that has a really carved out and pretty crucial role
Oh,
to
yeah.
his team. They give him
Yeah.
run the ball with him a lot, and they use him in the pass game a ton. They're lining him up at wide receiver and throwing him screens,
Right.
just trying to get him in space.
Well, they need to. They have absolutely nothing on offense.
I know.
Really.
But he's electrifying in space.
They're doing
He was
whatever they can.
He's been ripping off some big runs when you get him some open field.
His longest run was actually on Sunday. He had a 56-yard run against the Giants.
Baker
He's
was
only
out there
had-
blocking for him.
Oh yeah, that play was sick. That's why they're on a division rival team, but the Buccaneers still kind of bring a star to my eye watching him play. But he's only got 108 carries this season, 579 yards. He's a backup to Rachaad White, and he's still been seeing the field quite a bit.
Nice.
He's good in the receiving game. Only 32 receptions for 252 yards. Like I said, he's the backup guy, so his carries are limited. But when he does have the ball in his hands, like, the dude's gonna make some plays for you. It was against the Broncos when I was really like, okay, this guy could be pretty solid, because that was like the one bright spot. You guys beat him by more than 10 points, so you guys are kind of just kicking the snot out of the Buccaneers in that game.
They got shut down. Broncos just dominated the NFC South this year.
As Sean Payton lost one of those games to the NFC South, I would have been kind of upset with them, honestly. Yeah.
No,
If there was one to lose, it would have probably been against the Saints. But I mean, that was the one team that like 40% of the team was injured going into that game.
I mean, that was probably the easiest one of the four. No offense, but it's just like it was a perfect storm of like Rattler was like, what was he making his like first career start? Or was it his second? Yeah,
first career start
on a short week. Your entire secondary was hurt. It was like your practice squad secondary.
It was tough.
Your defensive line had just like been exposed for giving up like 200 yards the week before. So it
was tough.
It's kind of a perfect situation for the Broncos. Like the Broncos should just come in there and dominate.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up this week. Next Monday, Football Frenzy. I'll try to bring in some college players. I'll mix it around for you guys. But that is who's putting in work this week.
Those guys are putting in work.
Well, let's get into these individual matchups. Which game did you guys kind of want to break down first?
Well, you know what? Let's talk about the Broncos. We'll slide back over to them real quick.
Let's do it.
Antonio Pierce, game management situations have really been a struggle for this guy this year. I gotta imagine. I mean, if you're the Raiders, you can't be happy with how he is, approaching these, time management situations. Like end of the game, you're down 2 scores. You're gonna need 2 possessions, and they were wasting like a ton of time trying to punch the ball in the end zone when they got it to like 1st and goal. And I mean, like it's just like you're getting down under 30 seconds now, still trying to go for this touchdown. At what point you're going to have to score and go for a field goal as well? Even when you do score, you need time for that. At what point do you just stop wasting your valuable time, kick the field goal, and go and get an extra point? I mean, personally, I was thrilled about it. I'm like, just keep trying to punch the ball in the end zone. I mean,
go for it.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Your only touchdown of the game was set up off of a huge kick return. And then, a rookie linebacker just, didn't get his head around and just barely missed the ball when he threw his arm up in the air, when he threw like a back shoulder fade to your running back. So, every time you've gotten the ball down into the red zone this game, we've stopped you. Keep trying to punch it in. Like, don't waste all that time. Don't kick a field goal. And then you end up getting no points anyways, and you lose the game by double digits. So I don't know if you're the Raiders, if you want to fire Antonio Pierce, but I don't think this guy is like a head coach caliber.
I mean, I definitely think that they're gonna. That fan base, from what I've been seeing, they want their team to make a run at obviously Deion Sanders, draft Shedeur, bring in Deion. They're the savior of your team. On paper, the weaknesses on your team are still going to be there, but you have Deion Sanders, so everything's going to be fine. Wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like delusional. I think
it's blind delusion. 97% of the NFL is blind delusion.
Yeah.
There's really only 4 teams that are going to have a realistic chance to win the Super Bowl. There's really only 4. 2 in the NFC, 2 in the AFC. Right now, to me, it's the Bills, Chiefs, and then Lions, Eagles. Everybody else is on the outside looking in.
Yeah. And,
that's really it.
There are teams that make like a Cinderella run every now and again.
Green Bay Packers, blind delusion that we're making a playoffs, or that we're making a Super Bowl this year. Just blind delusion just because of our history. Our Packers fans definitely aren't worried about the Detroit Lions. I've seen this before. You know what I mean? This is just all Reggie Bush, Megatron, Matt Stafford in his prime, throwing 50 freaking touchdown pass. Blind delusion from the Green Bay Packers fan base. Niners fan base. Oh, we're going to make a run. Blind delusion. Raiders, for sure. Blind delusion.
I don't know. I don't know if I would want to fire Antonio Pierce. He's a great motivator of the players, but it's clear he is not cut out for head coaching positions because he's just had a number of these time management situations this year. You're like, what are you doing?
How the steps leading up to how they had him become just the interim is a failure on your organization. You know what I mean? You had to hire this guy because you already had a full-blown mutiny in your locker room when you didn't hire Rich Bisaccia as an interim coach. You know, you didn't hire him as your head coach. You know what I mean? You let him walk out the door. The players, basically went to the owner and was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So we got another players guy in Antonio Brown to appease the players. You know?
Exactly.
The steps leading up to that, it's not Antonio Pierce's fault. There's absolutely nothing to work with there. Outside of Max Crosby, what do they have? Nothing.
Exactly.
You need everything. You need every position. There's not one position that you can say, we're good here.
Yeah.
I like Robert Spillane, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys.
But it's
I
a
think
couple
if
guys. Like
That offensive lineman that they got from Oklahoma State in the draft this last year, he's like playing a guard and center.
Are you talking
Jackson
about
Powers.
Jackson Powers? Yeah, Jackson
As
Powers.
for a rookie, he's had some shots. I've watched him have some shots.
Yeah.
He just gets it though, dude. Like he's a football player, dude.
He
I
did
like
get
that guy.
Big
You're gonna keep
personal
him
foul
around.
in this game.
He did.
Yeah.
But like he still has some grit.
Yeah.
You can tell the signs are there. Like, oh, this guy can play
Yeah,
football.
no, he's going to be a real solid.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a solid offensive lineman for you.
Like,
That's a tough defense to play twice a year as a rookie. You got to go against blitz-heavy Vance Joseph defense. Dude.
True that.
He's getting
True
attacked.
that.
He's getting attacked worse than Gardner Minshew was.
And that middle of the defensive line for the Broncos, pretty loaded too.
And we didn't even have Zach Allen this game.
Yeah.
Too. We were down him, and we were still able to generate a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
Nick Bonita, man, might be time to start having a conversation about this guy as one of the better pass rushers in the league. He is second behind Trey Hendrickson in sacks. He's got 10 on the year.
Oh shit.
He gets after the quarterback. I mean, he's had like a sack in 8 consecutive games, and he had a big moment where, you know, the Broncos, Sean Payton's time management was also terrible. We get the ball back. Oakland still got all 3 of their timeouts, and we throw 3 straight passes, 3 straight incompletions. So the Raiders don't have to use any of their timeouts, and we took about 15 seconds off the clock. And I was like, "What are we doing?" I know you like to throw the ball and be aggressive. Just run it. The Raiders can't move it against our defense. Just get rid of their timeouts so they don't have those. But no, saved all of them. Punt the ball back down to the Raiders, and they got, at this point we're only up 26-19, so it's a 1-score game. They got to get a touchdown, obviously. But who comes in to save the day? Nick Bonito gets the strip sack on Desmond Ridder. We recover the ball, and we at least force the Raiders to use one of their timeouts. And we still threw it twice. I'm like, I don't know what Sean Payton's doing. Kick the field goal, go up 10. And now it's in a much more difficult situation because of the defense. That was some poor clock management at the end of the game. We played a pretty good game offensively for most of it, but this trying to throw the ball, you get basically 6 plays, in a 4-minute offense type situation where you're just trying to burn the clock, and you throw it 4 out of the 6 times. I don't know. That was just nuts to me.
I do gotta say before we move on though, I think Sean Payton found his guy again though, Bo Nix, man.
Yeah,
He's got the competitive energy that you could just rattle off 2 guys that the Broncos have drafted in the last however many years since Manning, and they just don't have that spirit in them at all.
exactly.
Just compete.
He's got a fire in him, man.
He plays with some moxie, dude.
Yeah,
He really does.
He
looks super mid at times where I'm like, I don't know. But then it's just like he's just like blank face and just like doesn't let the previous thing affect what the next thing's going to be. You know,
And-
he has throws where I'm like, oh, that's not an NFL throw. And then like he'll make plays where I'm like, this kid's just so. I mean, but he's a rookie, and you're going to see that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
You
still
just
going to be
don't
growing
let-
pains. He's going to
yeah.
have to develop and learn some things and clean up his mechanics.
And the boys rally around the kid.
Oh yeah, well he gets fired up
Yeah.
and like that's what you want to see out of your quarterback. He's like
Yeah.
getting up in the face of a defender in this
Yeah.
game. He was yelling at the ref like, "That's a trash call. What are you doing?" Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, like when your quarterback kind of takes that initiative and does that stuff, that's just good for a team. You're just going to see the guys around him play better. I mean, that there's some people don't talk about enough. Like your quarterbacks, he's got to be a leader. He's got to be very vocal, and he's got to be.
He's
competitive.
second right now in Rookie of the Year
Mhm.
futures. You can get a Rookie of the Year future on Bo Nix right now at 5-1
I don't
on
hate that
BetMGM.
either because Jaden Daniels
I
kind of
would
has a
look to
tough
bet
stretch
that
coming
if
out.
anybody out there is a sports bettor
Yeah.
watches this in the future.
Because
on
Jaden
NFL,
Daniels is obviously
pretty good
one,
line.
right?
It's pretty good.
pretty good, dude. 5-1
Yeah.
on for number 2. Jaden Daniels, you can still get even money on him. But 5-1, dude.
Daniels has a tough stretch coming.
He
up.
does have a tough stretch.
And he's kind of struggled against good teams, as we've seen.
I think that whole team has struggled. So, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
he's struggled because the team has struggled.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, I think,
and-
people,
There's film, there's a rookie wall, and there's
Yeah.
always games where you're like, oh, this
It's like-
guy's definitely a rookie.
oh, you guys
I
started 7
thought
and 2.
Bo
like,
Nix definitely played like a rookie quarterback in this game on Sunday.
Yeah.
For sure.
definitely
Yeah.
some mistakes and everything there, but
Just missing. Yeah, there was a lot of throws where I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, and then just next play, like, oh, okay. You know, situation, time. You know, I don't want to go beat a dead horse, but like, I'm like, okay, and like that was an awful pass. Like there was a play like that. Did you watch? It was like the second quarter, like 14. It was like right at the beginning. Your first drive of the second quarter. He had an out route. I don't know who was the wide receiver. We had an out route, just like 3-step drop, 1, 2, 3, uncorked it, sailed it over his head by 15 yards. I do think there might have been a miscommunication because he threw him like up the sideline, and the wide receiver just like stopped running. So I don't know if there was a minute, but I was like, I don't know. And then next play, just bounced back. I'm like, I like to see that, you know.
well, and like there would be some drives where it's like it would start, you like a negative play on first down and completion on second down. It's like, oh, you're in 3rd and 12, you're in
3rd and 12.
14,
Yeah,
and then he would just fire
yeah,
a ball deep into the middle of the field, pick up the first down,
Yeah.
or hit like fit it into a tight window. So yeah, mechanically, there's still a lot of things I think he's got to work on, and just some synergy and more chemistry with his receivers. But he's making throws when they're important on 3rd down, and he's making plays. And I think he's just confident and comfortable, and in command of the offense. And so when you got a quarterback that's like that, he can play terrible for 3 quarters and then turn it on in the 4th, and we've got the defense to keep us in games if the offense is playing bad. That I'm a quarterback that I finally feel like we have confidence in to be able to get it going in the 4th quarter. Strange feeling for Broncos fans. We haven't felt like this for
for a long time, especially with a rookie quarterback.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like a rookie quarterback that you drafted and sort of is showing signs of,
Because
you know, signs of life there.
it was like I mean, like if the other 3 quarters didn't go nearly perfect, like if it was bad game in like quarters in any of the first 3 quarters, it's like, oh, we've probably lost it. But now, even when we have like a really bad quarter or a bad half, because we had a pretty bad first half. I'm not gonna lie, we were not great in the first half. I never felt like we were out of it, and that's just weird.
Yeah.
That's not something I've experienced a lot as a Broncos fan the past 8 years.
Yeah, good job,
So-
man. Happy for you, dude.
Yeah.
Happy for you. Yeah.
Now, so
A game real quick. There's a game I wanted to talk about. It was a division game. The Arizona Cardinals and Seattle Seahawks game, guys. Look, everybody loves Cliff Kingsbury's offense. He's one of the guys that is being talked about as a future coach, you know, for possibly Caleb Williams. He coached him in college, possibly going to be the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. Second half of the season with this guy, going back to college, has been awful.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that stat in the second half of seasons with him calling plays? He has 3 wins in the last 8 games, dude.
Dang.
And they go into Seattle with Arizona's pretty good offense.
Kingsbury's in Washington. Jim.
Or
He's
who was
not-
their
You think Jonathan Gannon's the head coach?
no, but the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. He was Caleb Williams' coach. What's his name?
All can
I
think
get
of
those
is
same
Lincoln
guys.
Riley.
Lincoln Riley. Thank you.
But he's still at USC.
No.
Oh,
Who
are
am
you
I
talking
thinking
about?
Because he's the OC for the Arizona.
Drew Petzing.
Drew Petzing.
Oh, then I messed up. Then I'm thinking about a different guy.
Okay. I mean,
I apologize.
you can look at Kingsbury's offense and
Well, and even like
yeah,
bingo,
it's starting.
you know what I mean?
It's starting to fall apart. It's
showing signs of falling apart.
Right.
But going to this game though, like Arizona, you're setting yourself up for a playoff run. You're on the road, in Seattle. You got to win this game, and your offense does not show up. Their goal to go efficiency, they were 0 for 3 in the red zone. Kyler Murray had 285 yards passing, no touchdowns and interception. Bad red zone offense. You're just not scoring points when you get down there. If you get down there, I just didn't see anything from the Seattle Seahawks that showed like, oh yeah, we're going to win this game. Kyler Murray, 24 of 37, 285 and a pick. Absolutely no running game.
Cardinals were 3 of 12 on third down. As well.
Zero running game from the Arizona Cardinals also.
That's what they
49
succeeded
total
at,
yards.
too.
You have James Conner and Kyler.
He only got the ball 7 carries, bro.
He had 8 yards. Holy crap.
Yeah, I don't know how many yards he had, but I know he only got the ball 7 times.
That's
Awful.
good work.
And you lose the game where Seattle only scores 16 freaking points. Even their offense wasn't even all that good.
They had one offensive touchdown. The other one was Kobe Bryant got a pick six pretty
yeah.
much to win the game.
Yeah.
I think that was the only touchdown.
I mean, they had it was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. It was all touched. It was Jackson Smith and Jigba. He caught a touchdown in the second quarter. There was no scoring in the first quarter. 0-0
Yeah.
Goose egg. If you bet no score in the first quarter, it was like plus 1,100.
You
And
cashed on that.
people cashed on that, which is insane to think about. And then Brian scored on a long interception return. But then just field goals, and that game was like a snooze fest. But Arizona has an opportunity to take a firm control in that division. Now that division is wide freaking open.
You win that, and I mean, because if you won that, then every other team in your division would have lost, and you would have had a 2-game lead on everybody.
Yeah.
And now, it's still anybody's ball game.
It is literally anybody's ball game. I had it right here with the standings.
They
were
teams, two of them are 5 and 6. Two
Yeah,
of them are 6
6
and
and
5.
5.
If I'm correct.
You are correct. Yeah, Seattle and Arizona are tied at 6 and 5. LA, if they would have won yesterday against Philly, they could have obviously they get blown out. No big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving. They're probably going to be in the running for a wild card spot, but only one team out of that division is going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a 7 seed. I think the NFC North is going to have 3 teams make the
I think so too.
Definitely.
playoffs.
Definitely gonna have 3.
I mean, the
Nice.
Packers could be a 10-11 win team as a 7 seed.
And then
And is that a team that you want coming into your building?
no?
No. Absolutely. With the winner of maybe,
I
they're
think the Packers are going to be at 5 or 6. I think the 7th seed.
there's a lot of, we talked about it earlier, there's a lot of division games left. In that
Yeah,
division,
that's true.
So that's going to shake
I
itself
feel like
out.
the 7th seed is more than likely. It's either if Washington can string together enough wins and hold
That's
on.
a good point. Yeah, they're
Or
7 and 5.
Watch out for the Bucks, just because they're kind of surging.
Bucks 5 and 6.
I do think they got through one of the tougher parts of their schedule too. So some more winnable games.
Yeah. They got to play Carolina twice, New Orleans. Sorry, caveman. The Dallas Cowboys, very winnable game. The toughest game on their schedule, they got to do December 15th. They got to go to the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's only the really tough one. I think
Everything else is winnable.
That's
So,
very winnable for that
so
team.
if they have 7 wins now, they're 5 and 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Say they win every game except for the Chargers game. That puts them at 10 and 7.
Well, and I think then probably wins the division for Tampa. I don't know.
Atlanta.
We
Yeah,
gotta
Atlanta.
see
coming
Atlanta.
up.
I think Atlanta has a pretty tough
They
stretch.
do have a gauntlet coming
A
up.
gauntlet coming up. I got
And
you
they're,
right
they're
here.
honestly not
They
that
gotta
far
go-
ahead.
They got to go to Minnesota
Correct.
and to Washington still. They do also play the Chargers next week at home in Atlanta. Then they go on the road for 2 games. And they play Tommy DeVito's or whatever his name is in New York Giants at home. And then they go on the road to Washington. And then they're at home against the Carolina Panthers to end the season January 5th. So we'll see there. And Atlanta's already shown that they can lose the freaking Carolina Panthers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a winnable game. I don't know.
I think the
the Carolina
Panthers are
Panthers
playing
playing
better than the
a
first
little
time they
bit
played.
better. I agree.
Bryce Young, he finally seems like confident and more comfortable back there. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Because he's turning around, handing the ball off to Chuba Hubbard,
Yeah.
just like killing it right now.
Like, oh my God, just run the football and take some pressure off of your quarterback. Crazy.
Maybe play some play action. You look at some of these young quarterbacks; they're only running strictly play action.
Thielen's going to be back for Carolina now, and I mean
I
he's just
hate him. I don't really.
well.
absolutely
Bryce Young likes him. I mean, like against
Bryce
No,
bad,
for
Young,
sure.
yeah,
against bad
He
defenses.
played for
too.
Minnesota for so long. F that guy.
Against bad defenses, though, Thielen just eats.
Oh,
And
totally. Yeah.
Atlanta has a pretty bad defense.
He reminds me like a poor man's Jordy Nelson. You play off coverage on this guy, it's going to be a 5-yard out route. Watch him play football. If there's a cushion, he's only running a 5-yard out route.
Oh yeah, he's a short.
He's
Passing
not
game,
going to
everything.
try to route you and go in the middle of the field if you're giving him that cushion. He's going to stop at the 5-yard mark and turn around. The ball will be there. Guaranteed 5 yards.
When
When
he
he's
was
slow,
younger-
he can't really run.
Yeah.
When
When
I
he
ain't
was
got no
younger,
legs,
he
I'm
could
telling
extend
you.
it a little more, but especially now, like tail end of his career, he's
Yeah.
going. They're using him for his strengths to help out Bryce Young.
He did have an insane catch on third down. Like Young almost missed him because he was like wide open, and I think
What's
Bryce got a
Xavier
little
like?
squirrely. He overthrew him.
He's not doing.
Is he not doing too bad? I wondered how he's
yeah,
doing.
I mean it's solid. Like he's definitely had some good moments. Like nothing that's
Nothing
gonna
too
blow
crazy.
you off of the out of the wall.
He's 6'4", 230. It doesn't even seem real.
I think we'll
He
get
has 340 yards on 33 catches for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Averaging 10.3 yards a catch. Pretty good.
He's pretty
I
solid.
think
That's
the
not
Jets gonna
bad
be
for a
really
rookie.
Good if they can put together. A
Yeah,
better offense.
get something around him. Get a better offensive. They need an offensive line.
Yeah,
They have no off. They're just running a bunch of B squad guys
Yeah,
at offensive line there in Carolina.
kind of a testament. Like Chuba Hubbard's had a pretty good year behind that.
He's
running
running
behind
pretty
that
good, dude.
Kind of a testament to him, man. Like he's
They started the season off just not utilizing him either.
yeah.
I dropped him on one of my fantasy leagues because through the first 2-3 weeks, Chuba Hubbard was so deep on their bench,
Dude.
man. He wasn't even getting touches.
Dude, he only has 167 carries, 897 yards, 7 touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.8 yards a carry. Oh, just give that guy the ball.
So the first 3-4 weeks of the
Let's not
season,
reinvent the wheel here, boys.
He didn't even see the
No,
field.
he's like 5'9".
Yeah, he's not.
He's like,
They got it. Oh, they're lying. He's 6'1", 210 on ESPN.
There's no
right?
way.
There's no
There's-
way. He's
Really?
my height, bro.
dude, nah.
Yeah.
Like,
3rd round pick, 2021. I mean, but it's the Panthers, man. I mean, they're a freaking
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Yeah,
Like,
they
what are
weren't
we
even
talking
using him
about?
for the first 4 weeks.
but I definitely think the Falcons have had a lot of their own issues. That could be a trap game. Carolina for sure.
For sure, trap game, division matchup. Say the Falcons are in a win-and-in situation for that division.
They're gonna lose.
You know what I mean?
They're gonna lose.
Carolina can play spoiler. That's a. I'm not going to say they're a dangerous team because they're definitely not a dangerous team. But that's just a team that's going to fight you in a division matchup. At the end, they're just not going to lay down over
They're
train
better. They're
tracks
better now.
to let you just walk into the playoffs. They can keep you out. They're going to try to keep you out.
Exactly. And hey, not for nothing. I mean, they took the Chiefs down to the wire.
They did.
Come on.
Yeah.
They did. They got back in that game.
Like, that's impressive in its own because Kansas City, they're back-to-back
But
Super Bowl
what do we
champs.
think, though,
That's
for
nothing to sleep
Seattle?
on.
Boys, going back to that game, what do you think about the Seattle freaking Seahawks, though? This was my thing at the end of it, where, just real quick, they're sitting at 6-5. The end of their schedule, this is a gauntlet. Tough. Going on the road to the lifeless New York Jets, I'm not worried about that. Then they go to Arizona. They got to play Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, LA, Rams. at LA, at Chicago to end
That's
the year.
tough.
Brother, that
Yeah,
is a
wow.
tough stretch. All these teams, dude, at the end of that division. This division could finish 500 and somebody make the playoffs. If you told me every single team finished 8 and 9 because they all beat each other and just like, I mean, that's a gauntlet. Like, you could lose to Minnesota and Chicago easily.
Definitely.
You're definitely going to lose. I mean, the Packers are going to
Oh yeah.
probably blow out the Seattle Seahawks, if I do imagine. Unless the Packers just have like one of those letdown games. What is saving Seattle
Tucker
Seahawks in that
Kraft,
one?
he could have a career game.
I
See
would.
what
Oh,
Trey
yeah, man.
McBride did
There's
against Seattle.
Nothing.
They got nobody
They
to
got
cover
nobody.
tight in that athletic.
But the game is in Seattle, and the Packers, the last 4 games in Seattle at nighttime, 0-4.
Oh, it's a night game.
It's a night game, Sunday Night Football,
Ooh.
December 15th, boys.
Ooh.
The last time that we played
That
in
is a
Seattle, we lost
gauntlet.
17-0. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for nothing.
That is a gauntlet.
It's the last time the Packers have not scored a point.
Can we take a look at the rest of the NFC West schedule? I just need to see who, because I mean,
I want to see who has
Seattle
the
could
best
drop a
chance of
lot
winning.
of games right now. Like right now, I think
Yeah.
after the events of Sunday, they probably have the best chance. But hearing that schedule, like, oh man, that's tough.
Yeah,
I think they're in control now because
They are in control now.
because of their 2 division wins back to back. But
Yeah. Right now, yeah, the Cardinals hold essentially the keys to their destiny. And then the Rams are, the Rams, I would probably say with them, ESPN's not opening, they finish the season, they go Saints, Bills, Niners, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. So they end the season on those two games at home,
Back-to-back division.
but they're at home.
Ooh.
So that helps
Big.
them out
Yeah.
big time.
their
for
biggest
the LA
challenge
Rams.
is definitely the Bills. I think that one, I'm
And those
I
Niners
might-
games, no matter what, too, are always crazy.
yeah, I might chalk the Bills one up to a loss. I just don't think they're a better team than Buffalo.
They're at home against the Bills.
I mean, so it's a home game for the Bills.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Bills fans are crazy.
Bills,
They'll
they'll travel.
oh,
They'll walk to the game.
dude, leave cold ass Buffalo, New York in the middle of December to go to
Los
Los Angeles to watch your
Angeles?
team
Yeah,
play.
Exactly.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, let's
Exactly.
make a week
Yeah.
out of it.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I mean,
Yeah. Niners. That's always a weird game. That Jets game's at the Jets because you're going to play the Bills and then the Niners. It's insane frame, but you're not leaving. It's still on the West Coast, so no big deal. And you've won there before, so it's like it's a division game. Like we can do this. That Jets game in New York.
could be a sneaky trap game.
That's a sneaky trap game. And then you got to go all the way across, and then you got to come all the way back, and then you got to play the division leading, possibly Arizona Cardinals. Tough game, interesting, dude. That division, the NFC South and the NFC West to come down to the end to it.
Yeah.
The NFC this year, dude, loaded.
Right now, I'm thinking
Those are probably the best matchups. I
I'm
think,
seeing
coming
the
down stretch.
Seahawks sitting at like either 8 and 9, 7 and 10 coming down the stretch. I mean, they have a lot of losable games there.
They're sitting at 6-5 right now.
Yeah, but
And the end of their schedule, like we already talked about, they go to New York, to Arizona, then they play home against the Packers, home against the Vikings, at Chicago, and then in LA to finish the season.
I just think they have a lot of weaknesses on like both sides of the ball.
Yeah, how many times are you going to score 16 points? And
Yeah.
they have like one of the lowest rated offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, like
I
there are some
had it
teams
up.
where I'm like, if they shouldn't be that low rated with DK, JS, and what's his face, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Their O line is so shaky. I mean, like those are a lot of teams that, like, if they bring pressure, I think Geno's just gonna get folded up like a lawn chair. And then
he
I
can
get,
still move, but he's still an older guy now, like in his career. Definitely.
I get like their trenches are solid. I think on
Yeah,
defense,
Seattle right now
but
is 17th in offense.
that's
The New
there's
Orleans,
a lot of teams.
the
there
New
that
Orleans
secondary
Saints,
can just get
Atlanta
carved up.
Falcons, and Washington Commanders are ahead of them. Obviously, Buffalo. Obviously,
All right,
Kansas City.
give me the Niners remaining schedule. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I can see
Niners
the
remaining
Rams.
schedule
Rams
at
have like a good shot
Buffalo.
at like 9 and 8, 10 and 7.
At Buffalo next week,
They do.
December 1st.
Okay.
That's kind of like the big game coming up. Then they play at home against Chicago. home against the Rams, and then they go on the road to Miami, home against Detroit, and then they finish the season, like we mentioned, with the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona.
Oh, so they might go 6-11, 7-10. That's brutal.
They got to get some guys back. I mean, Brock Purdy's obviously, they don't have their quarterback, they're toast. It doesn't matter.
I'm like, at what point, because the Niners, they've lost a number of divisional games. I think their only
They have.
division win is that one they got on Thursday night against the Seahawks. So they've lost to the Cardinals once. Did they play the Cardinals twice or just once?
I believe they've only played them once because they end the season.
Okay, yeah. So they lost to the Cardinals. They've lost to the Rams. They've lost to the Seahawks. So they're 1-3 in the division.
Yeah.
That's already tough. I mean, you could drop Buffalo. Especially if you're not healthy, the Bills could kill you. And then you got Detroit coming up. I mean,
Yeah, dude.
at what point are the Niners going to have to start thinking about next season? That's where what I'm getting to, because you're in a big hole there.
Yeah.
You're in a pit if you're San Francisco.
Yeah, because the Rams have
you
a
have to
tiebreaker over you. The Cardinals have a tiebreaker over you. The Niners do have a tiebreaker over Seattle. So if them and Seattle come down to it, how it's all going to shake out, who knows? Guys, there's a lot of football left. When I look at these schedules, I'm like, man, you can't count anything right now because it's not even December yet, and there's still 5 games in December.
Yeah, they have a lot to play. If
If
it wasn't the Niners,
Dude, December is going to be insane, and everybody has a game after the New Year.
Yep.
There's 7. Some teams still have 7 football games left. That's like essentially half your season.
That's at least,
You know what I mean?
There's still,
Because 8-8 used to be, the halfway point. Now, if you're at 7, it's like, dude, that's still so. And even like when you have 8 games left, bro, you're like, all right, like halfway mark, like plenty of time, bro. 7 games, plenty of time. These teams that are sitting at like 8-3 right now, like Green Bay, some of the other ones, bro. This NFC is going to be a gauntlet in the NFL. I think there's going to be somebody's going to upset somebody good in the playoffs. It's going to happen. I just don't know who. You just want to hope it's not your team.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a team that just had a tough start to the season that's going to get hot at the right time.
Green Bay beat us in the playoffs.
That could be an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If you're the 49ers, you have to play almost essentially.
You're desperate. Shanahan mentioned, I'm a nerd. I watch all the press conferences leading up every week for both teams, Packers and whoever we're playing, from the coaches' press conferences. He said pregame on Wednesday, he was like, hey, we're playing playoff football, and we know it. So, And Giovanni Lenore comes out like, making up, just talking. Dude, he was throwing mad shit at the Green Bay. They know who beat them, they know this, we're their Super Bowl, all this crap. And then after the game, he's giving excuses. Niners, I'm kind of glad. Screw the Niners. They've been on a run. This is what happens, man. You've been on a run. You've had multiple opportunities to win the Super Bowl. You've had the lead in the Super Bowl.
Twice. They had like a
double-digit
lead
literally
on the Chiefs twice.
Twice.
And blew that.
And blew it. So this is what happens. And I saw it with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers after Jordy Nelson. You go on these runs. Dude, you go to the Super Bowl 3 times, dude, in like 6 years or whatever it was? Bro, you don't care, or twice in 6 years, twice in 4, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You play all those extra games. That's like an extra season every other year,
with
just
the
from all
of the playoffs.
Bingo,
yeah,
dude.
I mean it's
and then the travel. They're not playing all these home. Every game is a home.
Well, and then like the weather that you're playing in.
Bingo. Last game against the Packers was a monsoon.
I don't care what you say. I mean, playing in the cold, playing in wet conditions,
Santa
that
Clara,
takes extra toll
wild place to play
on your body.
Yeah. And, your team is aging. Trent Williams is 49 years old. Nick, or Joe, I don't know if it's Nick or Joe. I can't remember which one they have, but the Bosa brother, he's been in the league a long time now. You got to, and you don't have anybody after him, pass rush wise. They had no pass rush.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Not.
Absolutely
you saw this.
no
they
pass
could not get.
Jordan Love was just standing. The 2 sacks that they got, Jordan Love had the ball in his hand for just 7 seconds.
Right.
Just saying, throw the ball away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's trying to wait for his receivers to make a play, and that's still some of the youth that I see from Jordan Love that I want to see him clean up going into next year. Because he does have an arm to give his guys a shot, but it's like, bro, you got to know. If you've had the ball in 9 seconds, you have to throw it.
Yeah.
Just throw it away. Yeah. Exactly.
Or, I mean,
it's like I see that watching.
He's athletic. I mean, you can try to run it,
So it's the same thing.
We don't do that at all, man.
That's right.
And I think it's because he's been banged up this season. We're just trying to limit that. We're going to go all get. At some point from last year, we haven't even ran. Bro, we're running bunch formation, and we're handing the ball off and playing play action. We haven't gone 5 wide yet. Where Jordan Love threw 15 touchdown passes. That's coming. There's some other dynamics that are coming within our offense. Well, right now we're running 85%, 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. So I mean, some of the dynamic passing game that we've shown last year.
Jimmy, could you pull up the Cardinals? Let's take a look at their remaining schedule and finish out our NFC West predictions. Because man,
yeah, this division is probably.
I don't see anybody in this division winning more than 10 games. So I think 10's the ceiling. I think we could
10
see
would be the ceiling. Yeah.
We could see like all 4 teams like at some variation of 9 and 8, 8 and 9 though.
We are Arizona Cardinals fans this week, boys. They play in Minnesota this week. Then they play home against the Seahawks, home against the Patriots, in Carolina, and then in LA Rams. They go on the road to play the Rams, and then they finish their season, like we said, they go play the 49ers in Santa Clara to end the season.
No,
I'm kind of with you.
I think that's a home game. They beat them.
Oh, yeah. They beat. Yeah, they're at home. Yep. So yeah, they finished the season at home against the Niners.
That's.
I'm with you, dude. That.
Then,
I think you're right, dude. 10 wins might win.
Yeah.
In that division, bro.
Listening to all those schedules, I think the Cardinals have the most favorable because you got New England and Carolina.
Shout out Weeds podcast. Shout out Weeds.
Thanks for listening, Amber. You get Carolina and New England, which
winnable
on paper
games.
should
I mean,
be
unless
winnable.
you shit down your leg against the Seahawks and Vikings and then lose to the Niners, you're toast.
Yeah.
Because you're at 5.
They're
That puts you at 8
have
losses. You can't probably lose more than another game if you want to win this division.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to go on a run, I think.
All right.
I'd probably go LA Rams if I had to pick
I'm
now.
going with the Rams. I think that's just the best,
Rams.
most complete team. Obviously, it didn't look great against the Eagles, but I think the Eagles are just like they're a dominating.
They're my number 1 team in the NFC. Mercury's gonna have his. We'll see on Wednesday when he has when he debuts his next
top 10 list.
Top 10 list. But I mean, for me right now, I got Eagles, Lions, and then Green Bay on the outside looking in.
I'm probably gonna put the Lions ahead of them, but I just want to let you know it's like razor thin, the margin between those 2 teams.
You put those 2 teams on a neutral field,
who knows what happens,
bro?
That's a dogfight right there.
Because I think both those teams have like a distinct home field advantage.
Oh yeah.
I think Philly can go into Detroit better than I think the Lions can go into Philly. Just because grass, turf, dome. Who knows what the weather is in Philly?
Yeah.
Especially this time of year. I mean, dude,
on neutral field.
I think that's the NFC Championship game, unless the Green Bay or somebody, like I said, an upset happens. Somebody just whatever
I'm
happens.
pretty sure I had that as my NFC Championship game prediction. We'll have to go back and look.
Have that too.
Wednesday's show, boys, after we get the chaos of all this week, we're about 2/3 of the way done with the season. Let's pull out our preseason predictions.
Okay, I have those all written down on my notebook.
I know.
I'll look them down.
I know I had the Steelers winning way less games, and I had the Niners having way more.
I think I picked Cincinnati to win that division too. I know I have a division ticket.
I'm pretty sure I had the Bengals winning 14 games, so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, I mean,
I picked the Jets. I'm such a buffoon, dude. Why do you guys let me on this show? I
picked the Jets too.
It's brutal, dude.
I had the Jets going 10-7.
Yeah.
At least. I still have the Bills winning the division.
That's a good. That's good, Mercury. I'll bring in my notebook and
we got to take a look back.
We'll check them out.
And also, everyone that's listening, drop a comment. Let us know what your prediction for the NFC West is. Absolute bloodbath coming up in that division. It's going to be nuts.
A lot of football. There's a lot of division games.
Yeah.
We've just talked about it, man.
A lot of madness coming up.
Carnage and chaos.
The AFC West is also going to be crazy. There could potentially be 2 or 3 teams from that division making the postseason as well.
Yes, sir. We're
going to have to dive into the playoff picture on that. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got a lot more football frenzy coming up. Stay tuned.
Want to do college next?
Yeah.
Because it is coming down to the
Dude.
fucking wire.
I was looking at some of the
Well, do we
games
want?
for this week.
Do we want to take a? Are we going to come back to the NFL though?
No, I think we.
Because it's 11:45 right now.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, do college
Yeah,
now
'cause
because
it's
we could
gonna
probably
be-
spend an hour on college, and then like the last little bit is for top plays.
I just don't know if there's
Yeah.
like.
We could come back. I think we should just take a break from the NFL. We can always come back to
Sure.
it.
All right.
Because we can segue like really good into whatever we really want.
Yeah, I do want to break down the AFC West playoff race a little bit because you got Broncos
That's another
7-5, Chargers could be
That is
8-3
another
or
one.
7-4. Chiefs, I think are
Chiefs are winning it. Yeah.
yeah they're gonna win it. What if they drop a game or two? Like, does that open the door for the Bills to the 1 seed? Like, they're kind of in a race for the 1 seed right now. Yeah, like that's nuts. And then obviously the North is just crazy as well. The NFC North.
I think the AFC West is about to have 3 teams in it.
Yeah.
I think Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos are about to be in it.
We do got to be careful. Miami does scare me a bit. Miami's
Oh, they might go on a run too.
They're looking good. Although, what's going to help us is I
I mean,
think
if the
they're going to.
playoffs ended today, the Broncos are the 7th seed.
And what's our reward? Again, against the Bills. Thank you. Right. I mean, dude, we're probably
So
going to
wait,
make
does
it, but we're going to get. It could be. I mean, here's the thing, though. If the Chiefs somehow win the 1 seed, and then we have to go play the Bills round 1, I think we lose by 30.
Oh,
If
yeah.
the Bills somehow win the 1 seed, and we got to go play the Chiefs, suddenly.
That makes
That
it
game's
odd. That makes
interesting.
it a little bit-
Suddenly,
But I think if they finish with the same record, Chiefs have the tiebreaker.
no, if they finish with the same record, Bills
Bills
do.
do.
Oh,
Bills beat them
won.
head to head.
That's right. I
So
thought
they-
the Chiefs won. My bad. Yeah.
I mean, if everyone's records or losses stay the same until the final week of the season, we have the opportunity at home to beat Kansas
Crazy,
City,
dude.
knock them out of the 1 seed, and then play them again the very
Yeah,
next
very
week
next week.
in Arrowhead. Where we'll
That's
probably
kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy, dude. That's kind of crazy, for sure.
Like I see the Broncos in the playoffs this year, and then the next year, you guys are gonna have a down year. Like that's the same thing
There's
happened.
always a sophomore slump, dude. Jordan Love has a sophomore slump right now.
Yep.
You
The same thing would happen to
Look
the
at
Saints.
CJ Stroud. I mean, he looks super fucking good.
It's kind of just Sean Payton too. The same thing would happen to the Saints. We'd win like 13 games, and then the next year we'll win
We're
9.
coming back, boys.
We'll only win 9. And you're like, what the hell just happened to this team?
That's good, man. Like that. That was a great take. Military broadcast. The station that's giving veterans a voice.
Welcome back to a Monday Football Frenzy.
It is
Well,
a
till
frenzy
the
indeed.
Final whistle. It is not the final whistle yet, boys. We still got 2 more quarters to go. Plenty of time.
Yeah,
Top
not
plays
quite.
coming up. We just touched on some NFL breakdowns. We're going to get more to the NFL a little bit later on this Football Frenzy Monday. But college football, a lot of
Coming
big
to a close.
upsets. Colorado
Crazy.
CU Buffs losing on the road,
Yeah,
know,
that was
to
tough.
Kansas. And we talked about it last week. The Whistle Boys talked about it last week. This is a big game for the CU Buffs. This was a big
Kansas
game.
was a threat.
They are a big-time threat. They are playing with nothing to lose. They already upset the number 1 team in the conference in the Big 12 the week
After-
before.
After they
You
beat
know.
Iowa State, the number 2 team in the conference.
Right.
3 upsets in a row.
So, the
Man.
Kansas Jayhawks, they are the first team ever to beat 3
Yep.
AP top 25 ranked teams in consecutive weeks.
Yep.
3 wins in a row against top
Crazy.
25 teams.
Crazy.
Another team that kind of had an injury bug. Kansas was a favorite, odds-on favorite to win the Big 12
Yeah.
before the
They
season.
They
started
were.
the year ranked 17th or something.
They were in the
Yeah.
top 25.
Yeah. I think, the injury bug and then just the, there was a little bit of a fall off there. But that guy, Devin Neal, that running back, that dude's going to be on the NFL.
What a
roster.
senior day. Man.
For sure.
Oh my God,
What a
he's sick.
senior day.
What were his stats in that game? Like 287 rushing yards.
207 rushing yards.
Oh, gotcha.
3 touchdowns on 37 carries.
He had 80
Jesus.
receiving yards as
80
well. So
receiving.
Yeah.
287 scrimmage yards. He ran the ball, 37 times, something like that?
37 carries and
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
receptions.
I mean, that was their entire game plan. Turn around, hand the ball off to number 4.
Yeah.
Colorado didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah. The battle
Yeah.
of the trenches, it's CU's biggest glaring
Yeah, it's-
issue since last
Yeah.
season.
Totally.
I mean, the worst losses were, when we lost to Nebraska, we couldn't keep Shador upright. Lost to Kansas State, we couldn't stop the run, and then it happens again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
playoff,
No
chances
playoffs.
are-
You're still going to be in a good bowl game, but
yeah. Well,
that I
the
think
playoff
that
chances
still-
took a huge hit. They're not completely, like a Big Ten championship game isn't completely out of the question, but all right, I got to just to break
Because
down
right now
Big
the
Ten-
Sun
Big 12
Devils,
right quick.
Sun Devils and BYU would be in the conference championship.
All right, here's some Big 12 clinching scenarios for conference championship games because I just was looking at this last night. The Big 12 is absolutely insane. There's 4 teams at the top of the conference with 2 conference losses.
Yeah.
No team has clinched the berth in the championship right now. So some scenarios. There's a 4-way tie of 7 and 2 teams. Arizona State, BYU, Colorado State, Iowa State.
Yeah.
Arizona and Iowa State would advance, to the title game based on tie-breaking rules if the season ended today. The Big 12 is telling CBS Sports that there are over 250 possible combinations of
Jesus.
9 different teams that could be in the
Jesus.
conference championship team.
Oh, what is
250 possibilities.
That
Some of
is
those are maybe like
sickos.
0.001% chance. but
right.
So
Still
there's a
possibility.
chance.
Yeah.
That's all.
So you're telling
you're
me
telling me
there's
there's
a
a chance.
chance?
Still a chance.
The Big 12 is on crack. Like
It's
absolutely, all the preseason predictions were completely wrong. Like
Yeah.
all the what everyone was predicting, even the Big 12 themselves were predicting as their top teams. You're gonna have Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah,
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State are all the bottom 3 teams. BYU was projected to be the worst team in the conference, or the second worst. I think you had they would have Iowa State being the worst. Those are the top 2 teams. Arizona State was 13th, and Colorado was 11th, and all these teams are the top 4. The Big 12 just, you know what? I'm glad that they took Texas out of it. It's you don't have Texas always being the favorite to win it Texas and Oklahoma basically.
Right.
And now it's make those guys go play in the SEC or whatever.
Iowa State does finish with Kansas State,
Yeah.
so that's going to be interesting. But BYU finishes the season with Houston, who stinks, and Arizona State finishes the season with Arizona. So if those 2 teams win, they're in the Big 12 championship.
I mean,
Arizona, that was
worth it.
supposed to be
That-
one of the top teams in the Big
Yeah.
12 as well. And it
Hey,
kept-
that coach has those boys playing some freaking football. Did you see what happened after the end of that game? Those referees and the coach Dillingham, dude,
he was fired up.
buddy,
Kenny
they
Dillingham.
were giving the business to those
That was-
BYU Mormons out
That
there
was
in
a
Arizona State.
crazy ending
Yeah.
to the game.
Yeah,
Where
they were chanting "soaking" to the players on the field, bro.
That's great.
I don't know if anybody didn't catch the end of the BYU Arizona State game. Weird end of situation management where they had the ball inside the 5 and then they ran it all the way back to the 50.
Yeah.
Where they were first and goal and then they were 4th and goal at the 50, where they just kept running backwards trying to burn time.
Burn the clock.
And then on 4th down they held it and threw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
They reviewed it and determined that there was 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah.
And so fans are storming the field, right?
Game was
it's
over.
packed. They're but the game wasn't technically over. BYU had the Hail Mary chance.
Which was done.
If you're Arizona State, why not just score there and go up 2 scores and win?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't know why they
Yeah,
didn't try to do
sure.
that. Skadaboo was
Yeah.
having himself a day. Just
Yeah.
can't turn around and hand the ball off to that guy 4 times, and if that doesn't work, kick a field goal, and then you're still up by 8.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I kind of like the odds there Arizona versus Arizona State, that rivalry is absolutely
That's a
insane.
rivalry game. Who knows what's going to happen?
Arizona State has always been the little brother to Arizona.
The
In
spread's
football,
29 and a half
basketball,
points.
I think that's going over.
Well,
Because
the spread.
Arizona's not that great.
Yeah,
But they still got-
Arizona State is a 21-point home favorite.
I think that game is going to be much closer than what it says on there, honestly.
It could be.
Because Arizona still has
I can give
Tetero
you
and
that.
McMillan, and they got that Fifita kid. It's still pretty crazy. Like their
So-
offense still kind of has a chance.
Definitely bet the
Going
over. Over is 53.5 points. The over/under is 8-2 in their last 10. Head-to-head in their last 10, Arizona State 7-3.
That one, yeah. I don't think Arizona State covers that spread. honestly.
Arizona State beat Arizona in Arizona last year, 59-23.
Okay. Then yeah, bad taste in Arizona's mouth.
And
Going
they're
in,
at home.
a chance to play spoiler.
At home too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that.
Oh, if you could spoil your
crazy.
in-state rivals'
For
chances at the conference championship game. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. I mean, this
Throw the kitchen sink.
Is there?
I
don't
hate
even think
watching teams
Arizona's
that have nothing to
eligible
play
a bowl
for.
game.
No, they're 4 and 7.
Yeah, so
right
It's
now.
5 wins. I
So
don't
this
know
is a
five
bowl
wins.
game. for
This
them.
is our bowl
Yeah,
game.
this is your bowl game.
This is your bowl game.
Ruin your bitter rivals' chance at the college football playoff.
Yeah.
It's
Love
been-
to see it.
Yeah,
Arizona
right
State
now, dude,
has
if
been
Arizona
a little
State
bro.
wins it.
Yeah, like Arizona State's always been little bro. Arizona has a chance to just be like, calm down, little bro.
Yeah.
Pat him on the top of the head. You're
yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
End their season on this win. I'm kind of confident in the Wildcats on that one.
Yeah, they're
That's definitely
Arizona
upset.
State, big time favorite.
Watch.
That
for-
is for sure upset city right there.
I thought BYU's not looked great these past few weeks, and Houston went into Kansas State, went into Manhattan, Kansas, and beat Kansas State. So going
Yeah,
down
Come
to
on,
Utah,
Buffaloes.
I'm not.
Wow.
That could also be a trap game for BYU. Just keep an eye on that.
BYU is
And-
12.5 point home favorite.
I mean, CU though, Ollie Gordon is
Yeah,
obviously going to be an NFL running back. I think even
Yeah.
though Oklahoma State's been terrible this year, I think we can all agree Ollie Gordon's probably still one of the best backs in the nation.
Yeah.
How
And
are
the
we going to
coach,
be able to stop him?
Gundy's been answering questions about retirement. So is the team going to be motivated for that
Right.
game too?
Final game for
Yeah.
your head coach before he retires.
A lot of transfers. They already have 17 confirmed players entering the transfer portal.
Dang.
I mean,
They were saying on before the big noon kickoff yesterday that there could be like 900 players in the transfer portal this year.
I think so for sure.
oh yeah.
900
there-
plus incoming freshmen. NCAA has to do something with this crap. They have to. You can't. You're just going to ruin the amount, and especially when you're lowering the amount of scholarship play. You're only going to have 105 scholarships going forward. Matt Rule talked about this. Like I'm getting lowered. I'm getting jacked down from 150 to 105, and we have more players entering the transfer portal than ever before. He said the preferred walk-on status. He's like those guys that are walk-ons that you see us giving these scholarships to. That's over because we can't. I have 20 players entering the transfer portal, and I have 5 incoming freshmen that are high schoolers. He was like, and this isn't, and he was like, dude, and this isn't just me.
Well,
it's
chaos.
It's chaos in
It's-
college football. And they're lowering the amount of
too much.
scholarships each team can have by a lot.
Where are all these players going to go? Like,
He said how Division II and where it's going to go for the FCS. He's like, you're going to see teams that are just going to get players solely from, like they're going to build their team every year from the transfer portal, and they're not recruiting high school players.
I think that's what's
You
going to
know.
happen.
So I mean, yeah, it's going to be nuts though. But we're here for it until the final whistle for sure.
So,
Yeah.
Just
we'll
'cause,
be
like, I
keeping
mean,
that
like-
finger on the pulse. And
I mean, if Dion leaves, he's got all these guys like coming in that are like flipping their recruitment from high school to like there, like saying like, hey, I want to transfer in there.
We got that 5-star quarterback already.
he
committed.
committed on the Pat McAfee show.
Yep, and he
He knows
flipped
that
his
Dion's-
commitment from Alabama.
So Dion's even going to be there.
You know,
still.
exactly. You know, I mean, it's going to be super interesting. Then does he stay at Colorado? But then that kid, I mean, yeah, he's a 5-star, you know, but like, I mean, our team's just going to make a, you know, roster spot for that kid just because you're a 5-star? And then it depends on how late in the process that you.
I mean, I have no idea who the quarterback behind Shador even is, or the fact that he's
Right.
even good. So
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
see. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a reason why Shador was able to just transfer in and immediately become
start.
QB1.
And there's always going to be teams, at the lower level, conferences like Tulsa, Tulane, Coastal Carolina. There's always going to be those small schools that just get one or two of these guys that are like, oh, this dude's a freak, goes to the NFL, plays right away. But at the same time, man, how this is going to affect these teams year to year within the college football playoff and the conference standings, it's going to be absolutely insane, dude. Insane. Georgia's always going to be good. Alabama's always going to be good. There's always going to be teams that are going to be in there, but at the same time, these teams that are going to try to be mid-level teams like BYU or Arizona State, Nebraska, Colorado, even some of these teams are just going to. How are they going to be affected long term with this transfer portal rule? It's going to be. It's going to be difficult.
It affects a lot of teams in
does.
a good way, just because when you really think about it, it's like if a team had a crappy season and they've been recruiting you all year as a high school player, and you're watching their team just tank, and you're watching a unit that's not together at all, hearing all the stuff going on in the locker room, they're gonna go to a better school and be third string than go there
Right.
and just lose a bunch of games.
Right.
But even if they don't ever play a snap of college football for the whole 4 years, they're probably going to choose to go to Georgia and, give in a winning program other than going to somewhere like Tulsa.
Right. And just get your head kicked in.
Yeah. Like being a starter on Tulsa and having an awful season is a, big difference than just being a third string guy on Georgia that might get an opportunity.
Yeah. And then that led me to this. In the SEC, now 3 losses, guys, is an automatic no bid for the college football playoff.
Dang.
The SEC has 5 teams that have 3 losses in it that would beat anybody in the country. You know what I mean? So, and then when you talk about the transfer portal, what these teams do, and then how that's going to
3 losses?
3 losses, and you're automatic. You don't have a shot at a college football playoff.
That's actually insane.
Bye Texas
0.
A&M,
Yeah.
South Carolina, Alabama.
Yeah.
Is that for every team?
Every
Ole
team.
Miss.
Wow.
3
So-
losses, you're out.
That's everybody in the SEC except for Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee. Tennessee already has a tiebreaker to Georgia that they lost.
Yeah.
So we got pretty much guaranteed SEC championship right now is Texas, Georgia.
And the SEC's pissed because they're like, South Carolina would blow out Penn State, but Penn State only has 1 loss. Indiana's probably, Indiana looked uncompetitive against top tier competition.
Yeah.
They got their doors blown off. And it's like, I don't want to watch Indiana play frickin', Boise State. Like, who cares about, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's not an intriguing matchup. Like, I want to see an SEC school. To me, it's just, they're just better. They're better teams. Like, there's no way Indiana wouldn't have 3 losses if they played the schedule that Ole Miss played. Ole Miss, Indiana right now, Jackson Dart has 500 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Now Ole Miss isn't going to be in it.
Right.
They lost 4.
I'm okay with LSU not being in it because I hate Brian Kelly, so he deserved it.
LSU's coming back.
and his fake Louisiana accent. You can kiss my behind with that garbage. So I'm okay with that. But at the same time, there's Texas A&M. You're not going to tell me Texas A&M can't go into into Happy Valley and put the freaking beat down. Is James Franklin that get a head coach? But he's going to get made look. He's going to look good based on his record and the fact that he's going to make a college football playoff just because nobody in the SEC just beat each other. And they have 3 losses.
They almost lost to freaking Minnesota over the weekend.
They did.
Penn State. They only beat them by 1 point.
They did.
I mean, there's a lot of people disqualified then in the SEC.
100%. Yeah.
Who does that leave the door open for? I mean, you're going to have Miami and SMU probably. So Clemson can probably sneak in there.
I think they
I
are.
think we'll see. Clemson,
Just off a sheer.
Clemson's got to play South Carolina this weekend. So
That's a rivalry. I love those games.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
Where's the game at?
let me look. I just remember seeing that. It was one of the matchups. It's gonna be. Bear with me, in Clemson. So.
Oh, okay. In Spartanville?
Spartanville,
Spartanville, South Carolina. Right up there on the border of North Carolina, South Carolina.
So, 3 losses and you're automatically disqualified. So
You're automatically out.
Bama's out. Ole Miss is out. South Carolina's out.
Yeah.
Texas A&M's out. So like, who's that leave the door open for? Are we gonna put like Iowa State in there if they
See, that's
if
where
they
the
win enough
at-large
games?
bids are going to come into play, where
right? Arizona State.
UNLV
Arizona
has
State
one
in
loss.
Yeah, UNLV.
You know, nobody wants to watch UNLV versus Penn State.
Exactly. Or like Army
What are we
has a
talking
better chance of making it than
Yeah,
four
Right.
SEC
C
teams.
teams, right?
I think they
You
might
know,
need to change that.
We're going to see how I've been saying that, and then I'm
Like,
like,
I
well,
think
and especially with
especially teams that have like just gauntlet conferences like this, like 3 losses. Maybe that's as many as you can have. Once you hit 4, then you're getting like a little too many. But like if you're a good team that just has to play like a tough schedule, because like when you're the SEC, you're playing like your schedule is usually the toughest. I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed to play like at least 3 top 25 teams per season
or more.
or more. Yeah, and I think you should be able to lose 3 games but still make the college football playoff. 3 losses seems.
so
4 makes more sense to me. 3 is kind of insane. Like
Yahoo.
going like 9-3, I think should still.
So on
qualify you.
Yahoo Sports, they are predicting only 3 teams from the SEC make the playoff, college football playoff.
Wow. I mean, I just.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I'm all for more parity in the sport, but I'm like, come on, like.
Because right now, Arizona State, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, Oregon's waiting on the winner of that. Boise State, Miami, Indiana is still in it at number 11. And they're probably going to still play for. It could be a rematch between Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. Notre Dame, SMU, then you got Penn State, and then Texas, and that's it. I think this thing is only going to just show us that this is going to a Sweet 16 eventually.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
16
Sweet
teams,
16
3 losses is you can have 3 losses and still make it.
and still make it.
Yeah.
Because right now, 3 losses and you're not in. You're just not.
That's
You're
ridiculous.
automatically not in.
Yeah.
You're not even at an at-large bid. You don't even get it. So unless something happens and they
that
shake
even
up the
applies
rules,
to conference championship winners. So
Right.
like a 3-loss team could win their conference championship and just be disqualified. Or
Ooh, that's a good point. This doesn't say anything like that. Hold on.
so there's 3. Yeah, does that only disqualify you
three-
from at large bids? Can you still win the auto bid?
That's a
By
good point.
3
Like,
losses and still get to the conference
Yeah.
championship.
Because we're looking at it now. Like the winner of the Big 12 could have 3
Oh,
losses.
easily somebody in the Big 12 could have 3 losses. Like, then is that going to automatically disqualify the champion?
That is really weird.
Which,
And it's like Kirby Smart said it very well after they beat Tennessee 2 weeks ago. That we have no idea what the committee is looking for anymore.
well, and then
We
somebody,
don't know what they want.
if that's a situation,
Mercury
nobody
is
from
correct.
the Big 12
You-
could even make it.
You are disqualified from an at-large bid without a conference championship appearance.
Okay.
Okay.
If you have 3 losses.
If you have
don't
3
really count.
losses.
So you can. So teams. So CU is technically still alive if
They're
they can
still
somehow
alive.
make it to the conference championship and
They're
win
still
it.
well. They're 6-2.
Huh.
Aren't they 6-2?
They're 8-3.
They're
in
8-3.
their total,
Oh
I think,
yeah,
'cause they
yeah,
have one
yeah. They're
non-conference
6-2
loss.
in their conference. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so
And
a 3 loss. Yeah, I got it
I
right.
think the bylaw says it's just the 5 highest ranked conference champions. It doesn't
champions.
specify what conference. So
Right.
I mean, let's say somebody from the Big 12, all these teams somehow lose their important games, and so then it's they're all 3-loss teams, and they all drop in the rankings, and then the winner obviously wins, but they're ranked lower than Boise State and say Tulane. Then
Yeah.
the Big 12 doesn't even make it because
Yeah.
Tulane would be a higher ranked conference champion than the Big 12 winner.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
carnage and chaos.
Nobody knows what's happening in college football, including the college football playoff committee.
They clearly don't know.
I think they're just making it up as they go. Because right now on ESPN Playoff Predictor, they have 4 teams right now from the ACC possibly making the college football playoff, and nobody wants to see that.
I have the clinching scenario for the ACC because I know SMU has secured a berth. So
to the
Miami,
playoff,
well,
Or
to
to
the
the
championship.
championship.
Yeah.
Yep, I missed
So Miami, they go if they beat Syracuse. Clemson needs Miami to lose, and then for them to win. Which I mean, Clemson,
Who does
they got to
Miami-
worry about just getting past South Carolina first.
Yeah.
And Miami finishes with Syracuse.
At
Syracuse, that's a trap game, son.
Kyle McCord
That's a
is not-
tough game to play.
No joke there for the Orange man. That kid can ball.
They always have offense up there, dude.
Yeah,
They really do.
I mean,
That
Miami's
could be a
defense is
63-70
kind of
type
bad.
of game.
Yeah, like
I'm
that
betting.
turned into a shootout.
What's that over?
McCord threw for like almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns last week too.
Yep.
And their victor. I mean, he's been statting it all year.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Big Ten, Oregon's a lock for that. So it would be an Ohio State-Oregon rematch if Ohio State beats Michigan at home. And you got to imagine Ohio State, much better team than Michigan this year. They've lost to Michigan the past 3 years. Going to kind of be, exercising some demons and taking out some frustrations like Michigan. I would have to imagine.
Yeah.
67.5 is your total in the Miami-Syracuse game. So I
Oh,
said 70
man.
points could be scored. Vegas agrees with me, boys. 67.5 is the total in the Miami-Syracuse game. That could be a 35-35 ball game. Easily. Going into like overtime or something.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
who the hell knows what happens in overtime? I'd have to look. I mean, they're only 11-point favorites. Miami is. Oh man, their last 10, Miami's 9-1 against Syracuse. Over under is 8-2 to the over.
Oh, dang. All right.
And it's like thinking about the ACC.
52-45, dude, was their last matchup.
Dang.
That is insane.
that's gonna be
There's no
crazy.
defense in that game. You score 52 points and 45 points. There's not a tackle for loss in that game.
Nah, every play gains positive yardage.
Yeah.
There might have been a defensive touchdown squeezed in.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
Wow.
Big Ten also, dude, did you guys see the ending? We're kind of off topic. Did you guys see the ending of that Rutgers-Illinois game?
That one was insane.
Oh, yeah,
Bro,
that's in top place.
Indy-
That game
Yeah.
was insane.
Illinois goes like a lineup for the long field goal. They call a timeout to ice the kicker. All that did was just show that their kicker had no chance of making like a 52-yarder to win the game. They go for it, and they score, and they win it. Insanity.
Yeah, you'll see
Last
that. in
College
top
football.
plays.
Yeah. Oh, it's in top place?
Yep.
It is.
Okay, sweet, cool.
Also, we got that. Tell me you guys caught some of that Texas A&M Auburn game, man.
That one was insane.
That
Battle on the
was
plains,
special.
baby. My brother was texting me all day. My brother, shout out my brother, Auburn alum. Dude, Auburn, like their stadium's haunted.
It has to
There
be.
is.
Got it.
That's what Nick
dude,
Saban was
so-
saying on College Game Day. He's like,
Yeah.
what? Like that place is haunted. He's like, the way we've lost now because you have the kick six, obviously.
Yeah.
And
And then they were up like 3 touchdowns on Cam Newton
yeah,
a couple years before the kick six, and they choked it.
there was
On that one that bounced off that player's
Georgia-
helmet and caught him in stride and just walks in for a touchdown.
that was against
That-
Georgia, I think that happened in
That might
Georgia.
have been
Yeah,
the Georgia game, yeah.
but Cam Newton did lead a crazy comeback on Alabama when they went in there.
In their iron.
And then
Bowl.
Georgia was like, they had like there was like a minute 37 left, and like the very first play just
Is
bounces
this
off
the Iron Bowl weekend?
2 defenders' helmets. It is the Iron Bowl.
It
This
is.
is the Iron Bowl weekend. Ooh, I'm gonna have to text my brother, talk some shit.
And Auburn almost choked out with this against Texas A&M. They're up 21-0 in like the first or second quarter.
Yeah, and then the Aggies came storming back.
It's good to see like Texas A&M didn't just fold over because like
Yeah.
they got to play Texas this weekend.
Yeah, dude.
And like if you did
Talk
feel like
about
Auburn
playing
beat you,
spoiler. Now what happens?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Texas A&M still has an inside shot to the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So apparently, the CBS Sports, they're clinching scenario. Georgia's in, so Georgia's automatically going to the
Automatically
SEC championship.
championship.
Texas is in with a win versus A&M.
They
But
have
A&M
to beat them.
This is a play-in game for the SEC championship.
Oh, man.
Jeez,
A&M's
dude.
in if they beat Texas. So no other team has a chance to make the conference championship outside of Texas and
That's
Texas
crazy,
A&M.
dude. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. Mad carnage and chaos. We
Dude, we're
talk
here
about
for it.
every week.
I sent it in the group message, I want to bring up that picture that I had in there because I had like all the craziness. Yeah. So Mississippi gets upset. Ole Miss could have been one of the at-large bids in the SEC.
Yeah.
Nope.
Two
They
picks
lose.
in the final two.
Yeah, they're gone.
And
now.
they're toast. Florida beat them 24-17. Colorado, we mentioned it. KU just slobbered out 37-21. Tough
Yeah.
game. And then overtime, Texas A&M loses to Auburn in Auburn, and Alabama gets upset. Dude, Jalen Milroe played an awful football game.
Yeah.
Getting
Oklahoma
butt
kind of
kicked.
showing signs
Put
of
them
life
to
in the
the
last
woodshed,
stretch.
dude. Ran all over Alabama.
They
You
beat the
know,
crap
and
out of
and Alabama loses 24-3 on the road against Oklahoma, who's been awful this year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
Penn State
barely
barely
escaped.
Minnesota. Barely.
you know, we've mentioned Ohio State kicking the crap out of Indiana, so that's pretty much going to
Yeah.
put fun
Yeah.
right for Indiana.
BYU.
Oh, can I get a moment of silence for Indiana, real quick,
Oh,
boys?
they
A moment
need
of
it.
silence.
They need it.
Thanks, boys. Yeah.
They
And
need it.
your run is over, and that's what happens when you play seven
Yeah.
of the bottom teams in your conference and beat them all, and then you finally play a good team, and you get taken to the woodshed by superior athletes.
Wasn't
A
even
couple top
close.
plays from that game too. Downs had that kick return for a touchdown. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But Indiana drove down on their first drive, and I was like, okay, like all right, mate. That was it.
Yeah, I thought
Hope you
it was
enjoyed it.
something.
You got one drive, and that was it.
There's even Will Howard was celebrating against.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Doing the
player
Google
weakness.
Me thing, you know what I mean? Like they put up on the scoreboard the Google search, you know, you suck. You know, and I was like, okay,
Right.
that's kind of cool. I'm kind of for that trolling right there. I like that. That was funny.
I'm gonna try to give a very quick playoff prediction. This is so much of this is gonna change and probably be wrong, but if we're gonna one week or before we get to the final week of the season, Oregon wins the Big Ten. They're the 1 seed.
Yep.
Georgia wins the SEC. They're the 2 seed. I guess I'm going to say Miami wins the ACC. They're the 3 seed. I like Boise State to be the 4 seed because they would be the higher ranked conference championship winner. They're the 5 seed.
Yeah.
They're the 4 seed, right?
Yeah.
It
And then-
could be. We'll see. But again, this comes down to the freaking committee who has no.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're just picking teams out of a hat.
So we'll see.
Like,
we're
who
gonna
has a
we're
good
gonna
record?
we're gonna tentatively put Boise at the 4 seed. I'm gonna. Arizona State seems like the hottest team in the Big 12. I'm gonna just pick them to be the Big 12 champion. So Arizona State's the 5 seed. Then going off the 6 seed, I think that's gonna be Texas. We'll say Texas is the 6 seed. Tennessee's gonna be 8. Probably put SMU. I'm gonna go. Indiana's gonna be 9.
I don't think they'll make it, brother.
You don't think Indiana's going to make it? They're not going to get the at-large?
I don't think they're going to get an at-large bid.
Wow.
I just don't. Not with their strength. Dude, when they're valuing
Definitely
strength
not.
of schedule
That's
over
fair.
like literally conference wins.
All right. Let's throw Indiana.
You got to
out
throw
there.
Indiana out of there. They're
We'll
out.
put SMU at 9.
Right
Oh,
now,
wait. You know who I'm forgetting? Notre Dame. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. We're going to put Notre Dame. Let's see, I said
Right
Tennessee,
now, Notre Dame is 5 in the college football playoff.
be fine.
So,
But they
you
don't.
know, and they finished with freaking.
Do they put automatic, or is it the top 4 ranked conference championships? They get
We
the
have-
first round bye.
We have one
Yeah,
loss.
top
We're
4
automatic.
yeah.
We're automatic top 6.
This is gonna be. We gotta see how it plays out. Maybe I can't give a prediction. This is too chaotic.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's gonna be in there. We'll throw Indiana out, but I like SMU to be in there.
Yeah.
I think. Well, no, I think Clemson's gonna lose to South Carolina actually, so Clemson's not gonna be in there. That's gonna leave room for
Coastal Carolina, maybe. I mean, who knows? You
Yeah,
know what I
they'll
mean? Like,
Tulane's gonna
you
sneak
know.
in there somehow,
Like, what are you
and so
talking
is
about?
UNLV. Like, let's be real. And oh man, I mean,
Yeah.
who even knows? God,
Yeah.
if you can give us a prediction on who you
Yeah.
like,
I have no idea.
it's impossible to say. Who knows? And like the committee, they always make
Yeah.
some odd decisions, and you're like, well, what are we?
Yeah.
'Cause you
Right
know, it's a
now-
great
thought
point with
process
the three
here.
losses.
So essentially, right now, it's Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, Georgia, Notre Dame, Miami, Tennessee, Boise State, SMU.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about the 3 losses thing.
So
Like, I'm sorry, there's no way Southern Methodist University goes into any SEC team.
right,
Right.
They're
I mean,
they're not winning.
we're putting
not
SMU
gonna win.
in over Texas A&M and Ole Miss,
and SMU has
over Bama.
and SMU got to dodge Clemson and Miami this year
Yeah, they-
in their own conference and Pitt.
Yeah.
So they didn't even
Who's-
play 3 of the top teams in their own conference other than them.
They beat. I mean, let's look at SMU's schedule because, like, yeah,
Well, they did beat Pitt. That's the only one.
They did-
That's the
okay.
only one that they beat.
got
they
to
crushed Pitt. They did get Duke while Duke was hot, and I think they kind of curb stomped Duke and stopped their winning ways. Yeah, their only loss was to BYU.
They
It
beat-
looks like
Oh, dude, Houston Christian, big win, 59-7. They beat
Wow.
Nevada. BYU was their only loss.
and they beat
TCU,
put up
Florida State, Louisville was ranked when they beat them.
Stanford,
Stanford, Duke.
SMU.
Yeah, they beat
I mean,
Pitt, Boston
Boston
College,
College.
and Virginia.
Yeah, they
And they
lost,
got
they
Cal.
lost to BYU. They're not beating a team.
Yeah,
from
they're not
the
beating the
SEC.
team from the SEC.
Like,
You know,
And like if BYU's in, like is BYU gonna beat an Ole Miss? If they beat Texas?
it's gonna look like BYU won 2 games.
right,
That's how bad the game is. Gonna be.
right.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, how is this team
Yeah.
even in the playoffs?
Oh, they're gonna get Tennessee plays BYU in the first round.
That's
I
like
got news for you, son.
that's gonna be like
That's
an
a
80
whole
that's
different
like
ball
80
game.
to 6. The final score 80 to 6 right there. BYU against Tennessee in Rocky Top. Yeah, that's like 87 to 6.
I think it would be an SMU if they're in the championship. If they win the Big 12 champ, I mean, they're going to be.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it'll be in
I-
SMU and Dallas.
I feel like SMU's gonna
And Jerry.
they're gonna have to play Miami, and Miami's gonna expose them.
True that. Yeah.
I think.
And then I don't even think SMU would get in if they lose the conference
That's true.
championship.
Yeah, I mean if they don't
Yeah,
win,
they'll
like,
be out.
I think you have to win the ACC to make it, and then I think Clemson might get the other round.
Yeah, Clemson's probably the only.
Probably.
But even then, they could have 3 losses because
And then
they-
they're out because
they
they could
got
lose
South
at South Carolina. It's nuts, dude. You can't even do it.
2 of Clemson's losses would have been to Georgia and South Carolina.
Just put in Army and Navy, and let's just have some fun.
yeah, like,
Yeah, let's do that.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
They're just throwing a triple option team just to like screw everybody up. You know?
Yeah,
yeah, why not?
I'd like to see Army in there.
Yeah.
Come on, now. It'd be pretty cool.
If you can, I'll say this though, Mercury. If you can correctly predict the college football bracket challenge, where you can predict all the 12 teams that are going to be in it and all the teams to win it, and you run the table, win $1 million on ESPN. If you want to sign up, it's free.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, they're going to give you $1 million if you can do an
You have like
$450
a
billion to one shot.
0.005% chance they might get that right. I mean, that's why they're offering up $1 million.
Yeah. Sign up's free though on ESPN.com for anybody that
That
wants
ain't
to.
gonna happen. Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Carnage and chaos.
We're here for it, dude. It's alive and well in college football. NFL, we're just getting going. The carnage hasn't even started in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
It's not even Thanksgiving games yet.
Oh,
After Thanksgiving and Christmas, that's when NFL just turns.
that's when the
It's a
real
completely
fun-
different fucking football game. Sorry, Stokely. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited, but it really is.
I'm fired up about
It really is just a different.
Oh,
like
the brand of football.
you
It-
see these teams just
switching.
like and turn it up
They're
just a
changing.
little bit more.
It's gonna change a lot.
You know, and the cream always rises to the top, as they say in the NFL. And we're seeing it in college football. And who the heck, boys, at one point, I saw it also over this weekend, when college football playoff is going on with the NFL, when the Final Four is going on with the national championship, we're going to have 7 consecutive days of playoff football from college to the NFL.
Oh yeah, the wild card
7
starts right there.
Consecutive days
Yeah.
blessed.
of
We're gonna be blessed.
playoff football, dude. And the
Oh,
final
yeah.
whistle boys are going to be there to cover
Be
it.
there for
The
it all.
entire time.
I cannot.
You won't
Mondays are going to be insane. With the game that day, that's going to be a playoff game.
Uh-huh.
Possible national championship and like championship, like wild card go to the division matchup while national championship game is played. Bro, Mondays are going to be insane coming up. Next couple weeks, boys. Buckle up, dude. Hey, buckle up them
It's
Strap
going
shoes.
to be crazy,
Strap
Shannon.
in.
It's gonna be awesome, dude. I can't wait.
Strap in, boys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts.
Tune in with us. We're going to break it down for y'all. All right. Well, final week of the college football season's coming up here. What are some matchups to keep an eye on? Obviously, we've got Clemson and South Carolina. Huge game for Clemson. South Carolina was really just kind of there to play spoiler.
Yeah.
Crazy
Washington,
to say.
Oregon, kind of a rivalry game. Oregon looking a little human against Wisconsin a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So definitely something I would keep an eye on there. Texas A&M.
That's
That's
probably the
hands
best game.
down. That's the biggest one. That's the get into the SEC championship. Winner of that game goes to the SEC championship. It's in A&M Stadium. It's at College
Yeah,
Station.
South College Station. Yep.
So
Ooh.
I mean A&M.
Ooh.
This is their only shot at the playoff.
No.
They gotta-
is
must
to
they
get-
gotta win
win
this.
this championship.
Must
So
win.
they got to beat Texas and then Georgia. Which all right, yeah. Thanks a lot, college
Yeah,
football.
no kidding.
That's
Yeah.
how we got to get.
Hey,
to the
we're here
playoff.
for it. Those are gonna be two crazy games in a
Yeah.
row where it's like football. You know what I mean?
So
I
for
always
that
like.
reason, I feel like Texas might lose this game because they still know they have that at-large bid. Even if they lose this
You
game,
get
I
a
think
bond. Yeah, you're
you
not
have to put
playing in an
Texas in
SEC championship, and that's a less bang on your body.
Yeah, I'd want the bye week.
Give me the bye week, dude. They're gonna be in it regardless. They're in the playoff regardless.
Yeah.
So, like you said, as an at-large. So, I mean,
like if you think about it, you win this and then you got to go to the
you want
SEC
to play Georgia
championship.
twice?
Right.
I would
You got to play. So you lose this game, right?
give Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're
Let
still
Tennessee
you're
go
still
play
getting the
Georgia.
at-large. You're one of the top teams in the SEC. They're putting you in there.
Yeah.
So you essentially get a bye week for a conference championship week,
Right.
and then like who,
You got to go on the road that first week though.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
who are
But
you?
I mean, I'd rather go on the road to like Boise State or Miami.
Right, like who are you probably playing
You
like
know.
an SEC team, a Big 12 team, like
Yeah.
dominate the Big 12. Like
Right.
there you go, like
Yeah.
easier first round matchup, and then
Yeah.
Georgia winning the SEC championship, likely 2 seed. You're probably going to be one of the higher ranked lower seeds, anyways.
Right.
You'll probably get the dot. You wouldn't like
Yeah, they'll be
play
at 6.
Georgia.
They'll be at
second
between 6 and 10 probably.
You're probably getting like the ACC champion or the
Or the-
Big 12 champion.
Or
Maybe.
the ACC team that lost the ACC championship.
I'm just saying,
You know what I
if
mean?
you win your first round game,
Oh
who
yeah,
are you
yeah,
go playing in the second round?
yeah.
It's not going to be the Big Ten or SEC champion because you're going to be too. I think you'd be too high of a ranked team
I have a ranked team.
as
Yeah.
an SEC 10-2 SEC team. Round 2 you're getting, maybe
Yeah.
Miami. You're getting potentially Arizona
I
State
think
or whoever
somebody's
wins
gonna
the
get
Big 12.
upset, man.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I
definitely
think
true.
there's gonna be
Oh, they're definitely going to be an upset.
somebody's getting clipped early in that college football.
I think whoever Boise gets is in the most trouble because I mean,
I kind of agree with you.
I'm like Genty's sick, but I like
That's a dangerous team. That talk about nothing to lose, and they're gonna have a home game.
exactly
I mean,
on that blue field.
it's gonna be Notre Dame. I already know it is. I already know it is. They already said they were like it's like 98% on the college football predictor.
Jeez.
Notre Dame and Boise State, the first
Really?
round at
That's
Boise
nuts.
State. Blue on blue crime, man. I mean, it's gonna be crazy.
Exactly. So what do you guys think? Should Texas kind of throw it against A&M?
Yeah, just
Kinda
lay
get-
down.
I feel like
Lay
it gives you
down
an
on one.
easier path through the postseason. You get to kind of rest your guys some more. What? So because I mean, you beat Texas A&M, you go to the SEC championship. I mean, Georgia kind of whooped you the last time you played. Now it's on a neutral field. That's going to be a brutal game, and so then you could lose that, and then there's no guarantee. So like, going to the SEC championship, there's no guarantee you get that first round bye, and then you
Right.
just play 2 extra
You got to
games.
play 2 extra games. Yeah.
Maybe, and then you're going into the playoff with potentially a road game and maybe a tougher opponent. I don't know. You never want to just like say, "Oh, we're going to lose," but Texas might be the better play for them. Well, that's what you guys think. We're going to go to a quick break. When we're coming back, we got top plays, and then we'll have a little more breakdown on some more of the NFL playoff picture as that shapes out. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Till the Final Whistle.
Let's go Irish.
You want to just do our the AFC West thing quick before we do top plays?
What was that?
Sure, we gotta look at just like some of the AFC West playoff picture.
Just do a quick AFC West playoffs. And do top plays.
Because it's 12:30, so we still got like an hour.
Yeah. But there's like a shit ton of top plays, and we always talk about stuff in between each play, so
Well,
it's like free
Cool.
content.
we pull up the AFC West schedules. We just gotta go over 3 teams. So
Yeah, I got it right here, man.
and then maybe the Dolphins, but what their schedule is, because they're really the other like dangerous team. I think.
The AFC, well, I mean, Kansas City's gonna win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And Kansas City's schedule is not tough coming up. Like they got Chargers could be a trap game potentially. Steelers maybe, and the Broncos. I think they beat Houston pretty easily though.
They're going to look really commanding against Houston, but every other game, I think they're going to play really close.
dude, if somebody was just a little confident in the AFC South, Houston wouldn't be leading that division.
No.
Yeah, I thought the Colts would be fucking better this year. They would have had a better chance to win it over anyone else.
Anthony Richardson.
Put the
sucks.
banner down just so we know where we're at. Fine. Well, the call banner. Yeah.
Dude, that AFC North though, dude, that division is not over. Division is not over. Pittsburgh's 8-3, Baltimore 7-4. A lot of football left. And dude, this is the upcoming schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. Bengals, Browns, not a slouch team now that Jameis is there. They go on the road to Philly, on the road to Baltimore, and then they gotta go.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then they play a home game against Kansas City, and then they play a home game against the Bengals.
That's
I mean, that could be fucking 4 damn losses,
yeah.
and you're out. You know, Baltimore, they finish up their schedule. You know, they got Chargers, Philly, Giants, Pittsburgh, at Houston, home against the Browns to end it. That's a little bit more favorable, I think.
That's fucking tough for them, though.
When does Philly play the Giants again? They played both the Giants games?
No, I think they
No,
have
they
the last game
end
of
the
the season
year against the Giants.
in Philly. Honestly, starters might be sitting for that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
will.
But I mean,
That's
if you're playing for the first seed, you're playing.
That's true. If they're in a close
You know what I
battle for
mean?
one, they'll probably play.
If Detroit loses, dude, Packers,
Yeah, Philly's right on.
Packers
the
are beating Detroit. So you know,
They'll definitely
do
split that.
with that information what you will.
They'll definitely split that.
So that's 2 losses. You know, Philly.
Did they
2
play the
losses.
Commanders twice?
What?
Has Philly played the Commanders
Nah, they got
twice?
that one more time.
One more time.
Yeah, they got that one more time in Washington.
That's the only division matchup that the Eagles are going to split. The Lions have a chance
Right.
to split almost every
We're back.
division matchup.
Military Broadcast Radio. The station that's giving veterans
The boys are back. The boys are buzzing. College football, NFL, previous week's breakdowns. We got some top plays coming up for you. We definitely have more of these divisional matchups we were looking at. The AFC North and the AFC West next.
Yeah, those are another 2 divisions.
I mean, those are-
should be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas City right now is firm control.
Yeah.
But as far as standings in the AFC West, I mean, like right now, like when you look at it, within the conference, right now, 3 teams from that conference are in the playoffs.
The
Kansas City's
Chargers and
won.
Broncos.
Chargers
are
are-
6 and 7 seeds.
Yes, sir.
Chargers could jump Baltimore if they beat them tonight too. That's
Yeah.
happening.
Well, they're already
so
ahead.
far.
They're already ahead of them right now. The
Okay.
Chargers are a 5th seed, and the Denver Broncos rounding out the playoff picture at 7-5. They have a 2-game lead on the Miami Dolphins right now for that 7th seed, so looking good there. The Chargers are the 5th seed. Baltimore Ravens are the 6th seed, and the Denver Broncos are the 7th seed.
That Broncos, they have 2 huge must-win games coming up where they got the Browns got to beat them, and then you got to take care of business against the Colts. Those are both home games.
Yeah.
Because then you got, and we kind of got screwed on this. We got flexed into Thursday night football, so now we have to.
Yeah.
We have 2 road Thursday night football games this season.
Oh no!
That's, I mean, are you kidding me? That's kind of stupid.
Oh
They
man!
flexed that second Chargers Broncos to the Thursday night.
There was
Oh
a
no!
I think it was a Giants somebody else game that was supposed to be that night. So obviously, yeah, you
Oh no!
get a better matchup in there. Did it have to be us? Are you kidding me?
Oh, man. And when's that game?
It's gonna be December 19th
So
So-
that's like
instead of the
middle
call
of
it the 22nd.
man.
Yeah, kind of brutal. I mean, two road Thursday night. That no other team has ever had to go on the road twice on playing Thursday night football, and that's a huge divisional matchup for us.
Dude, if the Broncos lose that Chargers game and they lose the last week of the season to Kansas City, bro, if the Bengals somehow found a way to win out,
That's one of the teams. After we go to the Chargers, then we got to go to Cincinnati to play the
That could be a
Bengals before we come
tiebreaker.
back home.
dude, that could be
Play
a
the
tiebreaker.
Chiefs. Yeah, it's
Now
Oh,
that's
no.
gonna be a
It's
major
tough.
wild card
Oh, no.
implications.
dude, it's a brutal 3-game stretch to end the year. We got to take care of business against the Browns and Colts. Get
Got
us
to.
up to 9 wins, at least keep us in the mix. Because
Yeah.
I just can't see us coming out 3-0 in that stretch. We're going to lose at least one,
Oh,
maybe 2.
man.
Who knows?
And if
what-
the Miami Dolphins, dude, at 5-6,
yeah, who knows where Cincinnati's going to be at at that point in the year when we play them? Maybe they're resting Burrow. They're on the next season, whatever.
I mean, this Sunday night football game against Thursday night football game,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Turkey Day
I'm a Packers
in
fan.
Lambeau.
I'll be rooting for Green Bay.
You're a Packers fan.
For-
They got the Jets,
I'm gonna be
Texans,
a-
Niners, Browns, Jets to end the year.
Yeah, so
Jets
for the-
could play spoiler for the
Re-
Dolphins. Too.
Rest of the season, I'm going to be a Packers fan, a Jets fan, then a Texans fan, then a Niners fan, then a Browns fan.
Because they
then a
need
Jets fan.
they need to get 7 losses for you to
Yeah,
10-7.
Miami, pretty scary.
Oh man, dude,
I think
that's a brutal 3-game stretch, bro, for the Broncos.
a snow game against the Packers. I think that's a good matchup for Green Bay.
In
Dolphins
Green Bay,
could struggle
too.
there, yeah.
And the Packers run the ball good, and the Miami Dolphins do not stop the run. So
Texans, I don't feel confident about Texans being able to stop the Dolphins. Especially, Achane, what a surprise that guy's been. I just thought there is no way he would be a good player fantasy football wise. I got him in the league. He's great. He really is taking control of that backfield. I thought it'd be a huge split backfield situation there, but I mean he's RB1.
Oh yeah.
And for a guy his size, doing a good job of not getting injured either. But yeah, Texans, that could definitely be an easy win for the Dolphins. I mean, the 49ers might be getting to a point where they're trying to protect their players and think about next season. So that could definitely be a win for the Dolphins. And then Browns, Jets, Miami could definitely pick up wins against those teams. So scary, scary, scary. The Bengals, I mean, they're going to have to beat Pittsburgh next week.
yeah,
Then they got the Cowboys, the Titans. Those are both road games. Home against the Browns, and then the Broncos, and they got to go on the road to Pittsburgh. With the way Burrow's been playing,
I
though,
just
I'm
don't
not
know.
ready. I'm not ready to count them out, but that's a pretty tough stretch.
It's looking pretty bleak. They could play spoiler to you guys.
That's
That's what I'd be
most
worried
concerned
about,
about,
dude. A
yeah.
home game against the Broncos where, if it's in Mile High, I'm going Broncos all the way.
Yeah, but in
you know,
Cincinnati.
in
That
Cincy.
makes it way tougher.
You know, after you guys get done playing a division game, you got to go on the road to a weird spot. Could be snowing.
At least it's a mini bye.
It isn't anybody.
Man, I hope Riley Moss didn't hurt his knee too bad. He had to leave the game on Sunday for that. Still haven't heard what the injury diagnostic is on
Lions
that,
got
but
it.
I would really hope he's healthy. Let's take a look at the Chargers schedule. Kind of end out. Obviously, they got the Ravens tonight. That's a huge game.
That's big.
The Falcons, I think the Chargers could crush them pretty easily. Then they got the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Then they got the Buccaneers, who are not a team to be slept on. The Broncos. Then they have to end the season, it's an easier go with the Patriots and the Raiders, but those are both road games, bear in mind. So the Chargers really got their most difficult stretch coming up here.
Guys, it's only week 12.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much football left.
We're going to see.
It's a
some
week-to-week
insane
league.
shakeup.
We're going to see carnage, brother. We are going
Yeah.
to see something.
Besides
Absolutely
the
insane.
top two teams of each conference, there aren't any teams that I feel confident
Dude.
are and where they're going to end up. I feel like Detroit and Philly are probably going to be some variation of the 1 and 2 seed. Kansas City, Buffalo, some variation of the 1 and 2 seed. The
I gotta say
Steelers
this.
could win their division or be a wild card. Same with the
Right.
Ravens. The Broncos
Right. Good
probably
point.
a wild
That's a good
card or
point.
not even in the playoffs. The
Good
Dolphins looked like they were dead in the water.
They could be a
wild
7
card.
seed.
Yeah.
Boys, the Detroit Lions, you said that. Dude. Bears, Packers, Bills, Bears, Niners, Vikings.
Oh my God, that is brutal.
I mean, I know the Niners aren't the old. End of the year, though. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be motivated. They're not laying over the train tracks. And you got to go to San Fran. And the Niners are going to be ticked off. And they want, and the Lions are going to be motivated because who did they play? In the championship game to go to the Super Bowl and choked it. So they're not obviously the Lions are going to be in that game to dog it out. And then you got to end the year with a divisional matchup the next week. So you can't, you can't empty the gas tank because that last week of the season, you drop a game. Philadelphia, with a relatively easy way to end the season, they play the Giants to end the year. You play a divisional game to end the year. That could affect who's the actual 1-2 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
And then if you finish with 2, you have, say you lose because Packers are going to win in Detroit, guys. I don't know what you need to hear. I don't know what I need to say to convince you. Probably not much, Mercury, because you're not going to buy nothing I sell you. I'm a used car salesman over here, I know. But at the same time, dude, the Packers are going to win in Detroit. So that's going to be their second loss of the year. Then they got to play the Bills, tough team. Bears, they split with the Bears last year. The Bears beat them in Detroit also.
The Lions have a chance to split every one of their divisional.
That is true.
And if that happens, that's 4 losses, bud.
I like the identity of the Lions. I think that gives them. They're going to make them competitive in every game and give them a chance to win. But looking at that schedule, there's no way they don't.
They're gonna lose.
They're going to have at least one more loss.
Maybe 2.
Probably looking at a 14-3 finish.
I would say.
I think 14-3 is the most.
Remember, the
likely.
Philadelphia Eagles were 10-1, blowing teams out the way. The
Yeah.
line, you know what I mean? They've barely made the playoffs last year.
I can also see a 13-4 finish. I mean,
Right.
that's
what I mean.
That many good teams back to back weeks
With
that
no pass rush.
That is just tough.
And now you're not going to be playing teams that have no passing game. You got to play the AFC South, pretty much in back-to-back
Yeah.
weeks. Teams laying over
I
the
was
train
watching
tracks for you.
Max Crosby play on Sunday, and I was just so pissed. I'm like, this guy should be wearing blue and silver right now. What are we
No,
doing?
you shouldn't. Don't do that first.
You should have sold the farm to get Max Crosby.
You sell the farm to get Max Crosby.
Because that is the biggest, obvious, most glaring
and they
issue
can't
with
stop the
Lions.
run.
Yeah, and he's great against the run too. He was flying in off the edge and
Max Crosby's the
blowing
man.
our running backs
He's the
up.
man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
He-
I honestly thought about Granderson from you guys.
Yeah,
That
I
would
don't
have
know.
been a bad. That would have been a bad pickup for him.
should have gone and got Max Crosby because if you're the Lions, screw your
Zedarius
draft-
Smith played 5
screw
snaps
your,
on Sunday.
screw your draft picks, man.
You
the
know what I
team
mean?
you've got here just needs a pass rush, and then that like your Super Bowl window would have been that much more open. And
Wide
now-
open, right?
I
Right.
mean, who knows like how long you could continue this
Yeah.
success? I think if you were the Lions, a team that's been down in the dumps, you go all in for this.
I would imagine yes.
But-
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Detroit
Still-
Lions will always Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
team, I think,
It's still a good team offensively. Yeah, they can
Yeah,
run with
they
the
are.
best of them, but
for sure.
that going up against all these teams, and they just can't generate a pass rush. Their secondary has improved. It's gotten better, but
It's gotten better.
I mean, if these guys are gonna have, they're gonna have to play some
Totally.
really good wide receiver cores, and they're
And you're just hoping one team doesn't put something on film
Yeah.
that everybody else can copycat.
Yeah.
if
Use
you're not going
against
to be able to get pressure on the quarterbacks without blitzing and leaving these DBs in a lot of one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
That's a little concerning.
And they also
That's
lost
where I get-
Alex Anzalone for the year. So,
They did.
Yeah, that's a huge
They
hit.
did.
to
their
the
linebacker,
core.
they got that, Bill. He was on that Hard Knock show. Rodrigo or whatever his name was. I don't know. He's a pretty small linebacker that's taking
I
his
can't. I
spot.
don't even remember what that dude's name is. Yeah, tough stretch of the Lions coming up there. So
I think the Eagles are going to sneak in that first seed, brother.
they might. They just might. What's Philadelphia's scheduled?
I think I ran it down a little bit, but
It's not. It's really not that bad.
It's
They
really
do
not
have.
bad.
Okay, they do have some big games. They got the Ravens next week. That's going to be a dogfight. That's probably a loss. I mean, Lamar Jackson just doesn't lose to NFC teams. The only NFC or only quarterback in the NFC to beat him is off of his team now. They cut him.
interesting.
You know who that QB is, Jimmy Caveman? The only NFC quarterback to beat Lamar Jackson on the football game?
Well, the Packers beat them.
Not with Lamar Jackson starting. He's 23-1 now as a starter against the NFC. The only quarterback to beat him when he started for the Ravens in a football game against an NFC opponent was Daniel Jones.
Oh my god.
That's the only NFC quarterback
I was
Lamar
gonna
has
guess.
lost to in his career.
We might have knocked him out early in that game, but I know we ran roughshod over that guy.
The starts are if you play one snap and get hurt, you're considered the starter of that game. So if
Because that
He
was,
might have
that
come
was a
in
year
off of,
Aaron
like,
Rodgers won MVP. We killed him, and Lamar Jackson played.
I'm telling you, Jimmy, he's 23-1 against the NFC. He might have come in. Maybe that was when Flacco was still there or something. He came in for Flacco after Flacco got hurt. But every sports network always brings up the stat that he's 23-1 against the NFC, and it was not. You might be thinking it was Tyler. Tyler Huntley does kind of play like a discount Lamar Jackson. Maybe Huntley was in there. Yeah, it looks like he's having a moment.
It was Tyler. It was Tyler.
Yeah,
Damn
I
it.
told you.
Same damn player.
Tyler Huntley's like dollar store Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Let's be honest. All right, back to the Eagles schedule though. You got the Ravens. That could honestly
Yeah.
be a loss. But then you got the Panthers. I don't know, man. The Steelers don't really match up well with Philadelphia.
I don't think so. I think that's gonna be a dog fight though. That's gonna be a rock fight with those offensive and defensive line scrimmage, dude.
That's true.
Because
Dude,
Steelers want to run the ball also.
Yeah, that Eagles front has come to life, dude.
And the
Jalen
Eagles lost
Carter-
Brandon Graham too, their linebacker, do-it-all linebacker.
Yeah,
That's a big loss for that defense. Already with a thin, depleted defense as it is. I mean, that's going to be. There's so many beatable teams in the NFL this year. It's like you can pick holes on everybody. You know what I mean? It's just like what you do to like cover up those holes and mask it. Brandon Graham, captain on that Philadelphia Eagles defense. Now you're gonna play the Steelers. Then they go Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
Jalen Carter's gonna have to have like huge games.
Yeah,
though.
oh yeah. They're
But
sitting at
you
9-2.
Play the Steelers. I don't know. I like the Commanders. I don't think it should really scare the Eagles though. If you can beat the Steelers, then you got Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
The game is in Washington.
Yeah.
So,
But Washington, you're really starting to see like that O line's kind of shaky. They really struggle against the run. Their special teams is kind of a disaster.
I do gotta say, I'm sorry, Caveman, that your Saints aren't in any of these discussions for.
Oh, they
Division,
definitely
dude.
aren't going to be. I
You're
mean,
just
honestly,
not
though-
in the convo. and I'm
honestly
sorry.
though, you just taking a look at it, we really kind of could.
All right. Let's take a look
We
at
really kind
it.
of.
We're gonna take a look at it.
We really kind of could.
I like how you
We-
say that, dude.
We have to win every single game. We have to win every single game for the rest of the season and hope that the fucking
Everybody else
Bucks
loses out.
and the Falcons have to lose
Here,
You got
40%.
one or two more games.
You do have some real tough games. Though. You got the Rams next week.
You play us. It's over.
You got the Commanders. You got the Packers, and you got the end of the year for the Bucks. Did you play the Giants and the Raiders? Those are very winnable games.
Yeah.
But
My
It
prediction.
starts this week. You got to beat the Rams.
Remember, I said 6-11 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
It is looking like
It's looking like 6-11,
spot
brother.
on.
Good job,
Spot
dude.
on.
That's it.
I don't know
Nailed it.
how your secondary is going to fare against Cooper Cup and Puka Nacua.
Especially after they just got whooped by the Eagles. That's going to be.
Yeah, no Marshawn Lattimore back there anymore to cover those guys. He's kind of been a non-factor though on the Commanders.
I
Has
don't
he
think
even
he's
played yet?
played.
I don't think
I
he's
don't
played.
think he's played.
All right, yeah, that might be the case. Yeah, because I don't remember him calling. This
Yeah,
game.
no, he's definitely had he was out before this week too,
Okay. Oh, that's right. He got traded. Yeah, he was dealing with it.
and he was
wasn't he?
hamstring.
Yeah, he had a hamstring injury when we traded him. And he was
Well-
kind of like in and out.
NFL playoff picture as well. A lot of carnage and chaos to come.
Yeah,
Stick
the
with
NFC
us on till the final whistle. We'll be
NFC
breaking it
is
down and looking at it.
Wide open. Wide open.
That's what I'm saying. If we just win out,
Yeah.
we could be the team that goes on a run. Our coaches are playing to keep their jobs. Really, Darren Rizzi's coaching his ass off so he can get
You
hired.
guys are on a bye week this weekend.
I'll say the
And
Falcons could
Kubiak.
definitely drop a number of games. I think the Bucks have an easier schedule coming
Yeah.
up. But Falcons, you got the Chargers, then you got to play the
I'm sorry,
Vikings.
caveman.
I mean, their offensive
Tough
line looks
stretch.
pretty bad. Max
It's a tough
Crosby
stretch.
could cause some havoc against them. That's a trap game in Vegas. You got the Giants again, though, against that front. Like the Falcons' trenches are just god awful. I mean, they can't really protect Kirk Cousins against good pass rush, and he's not mobile enough to really be able to avoid that. And then, yeah, they can't generate pressure to save their lives. So, I mean, I could see them, just because of the playmakers on the Raiders and Giants defensive lines, I could see those games
Broncos beat the Falcons.
being trap games for the Falcons. They could lose to the Commanders. And then, like we said, the Panthers, anything can happen in that game. Who knows?
Dude.
Carnage and chaos, man.
We're here
Maybe
for it,
we'll
dude.
see a team like
We're here for
the
it.
Saints make a run. Let's go for it.
Yeah. I'm just happy the Packers, once again, in the playoffs, squarely in control of their own destiny. Just there's an old saying that my dad used to say. He's like, doesn't matter if you're in the first seed, doesn't matter. As long as you're in the bus, you always have a chance to be the driver. And
That's a
I'm
good
like, man,
say.
We 2010, six seed,
Guys, and
Super Bowl
Good
champion.
probably no 49ers, so you don't have that team to choke against in the playoffs again.
Dude, we had an 11-point lead and then an 8-point lead. We had an 11-point lead with 1 minute left in the third quarter. An 8-point lead with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter with the football. And we lose it. Brutal, dude.
Yeah, that's hard.
Brutal,
That's
dude.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's hard.
sucks so bad, dude. We lost a home playoff game against Jimmy Garoppolo where we give up 140 yards of total offense with
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey.
The Niners scored 13 points.
And their only touchdown was a punt block for a touchdown, dude. And then they kicked 3 field goals and they win. Aaron Rodgers had 97 yards passing with Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones there.
Holy crap!
And an offensive line that was ranked top 5 in the NFL.
Coming off a first round bye. too.
Literally a first round bye.
Crazy.
Brutal, dude.
Crazy
That
time.
is-
Brutal, dude.
That is-
Anybody else, I knew when we got that matchup with the Niners, I said, "Oh, this is where it ends." This is just where I put literally all my money in my sports book on the Niners money line because I just knew.
Yeah, it's
I just knew. It's just it is what it is. Anybody else, we'd probably make that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In the
It's just
NFC.
wild, how some teams they always have another team's number in the
It's
postseason.
wild, right?
It's
isn't it?
crazy.
We bro, we had the ball with the lead with an 8-point lead with 5 minutes left. And they did something smart. This goes unheralded and unnoticed. With 5 minutes left, we're driving at like the 50, and we're running the ball. They use their timeouts well before the 2-minute warning to give themselves an extra possession after the 2-minute warning, which is what they use. They kicked a field goal, scored a touchdown, they win by 2. And then we got the ball back with like 50 some odd seconds left, and Jordan Love needs to make a play. Not an ideal situation for your first time quarterback in a monsoon on the road in the playoffs.
No, it doesn't help.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't help.
Just awful, dude. Awful. Anyway, we're going to be here for it. I'm just happy.
I
Packers-
want to see this.
Cruise control, I think we'd probably get 5-6 seed. Doesn't really matter, but
There's no way they're
We're
gonna
in
get
there.
the 7th seed. The two.
it would take
runner-up-
something insane to happen,
Yeah,
like
the
a couple
two runner-ups
losses.
of the North, I think, are going to be the 5 and 6.
5
and
and
then
6.
it's like
I'm
whoever
with it.
can escape the chaos of the West and
Yeah.
East can squeeze in there as a 7.
A lot of football left, boys.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of football left. I think we got some top
Never
plays here,
get
though.
too confident. So much can happen, and
Oh,
we're going
yeah.
to be here to cover all of it. And you know what? We're going to get into the madness of this weekend with some of our top plays of the week. You're going to get genuine reactions like that watching these top plays. We got some good
Absolutely.
ones.
Right.
Yeah. My guy, all right, dude. Jeremiah Love, dude, from Notre Dame in his Notre Dame Army game.
I like this dude.
Dude.
He's sick.
He's gonna be he's an NFL, he's a Sunday football player. I wanted to look up
Rip the dream of a service academy going
Jerem-
undefeated.
Jeremiah Love has 6 touchdowns this year over 45 yards, which is insane. He had another 3 touchdown day and 175 yards. rushing.
He's so
Oh, yeah.
explosive.
It's insane when he gets in the open field. If he's even, he's leaving, boys. Watch this run. He just ran past like 3 guys.
Yeah.
Not catching that.
What happened here? Yeah. Like what?
There you go.
Yeah, those announcers had no idea
Yeah.
what they were talking about, and no big deal because like on the next possession too. Now I thought it was going to be synced when I saw it on Facebook. Another 35-yard touchdown run on the very next possession. They pulled him out of the game. Yeah, that
Oh,
kid
that
is
was-
awesome.
That run.
I
was
don't
crazy.
know how we got him from Alabama, but Marcus Freeman gave up the Catholic bag and got Jeremiah Love
yeah.
to decommit from
Traded Some
Alabama
of the Pope's
at the
jerseys.
Iron Bowl last year and got him to commit the week after and signed with us. And he's dominant. He's a stud.
I mean, dude, those.
He's a
there
freshman.
were 2 Army defenders trying to cut the angle off on him, and he just blew right
Past him. Yeah, he had a play in that Virginia. Dude, this kid can cut on a dime. I think you kind of saw it right there. His first cut into off tackle, he's in that hole and he's gone. He had a similar play where it was inside tackle, and he started off outside, came in inside off one cut, and he just went right up the middle and just left like 2 safeties. in
He
there.
caught. He also caught like a screen pass and just like hurtled over a defender
Yeah.
into the end zone.
Yeah, the kid's a freak. He's going to play on Sundays. I wouldn't imagine he's a first rounder just because like first round running backs kind of tough. And I think
Yeah.
Genty is probably going to be the one this year.
I think Genty might be the only one to go. In the
I
first
think so.
round.
I think
Yeah.
so. I know Ollie Gordon was looking to be that guy, but I think their team success is more rooted in that. I could see him. I could see Jeremiah Love being a 3rd-round draft pick, sort of like Audric
Yeah.
Estime. For
Exactly.
the Jeremiah Love, a little bit smaller, can do a little
Could
bit
be in
more.
the top 5 of backs. I think you're gonna.
Oh, for
probably
sure.
gonna see Genty. I think that Sampson from Tennessee is gonna go pretty high.
He'll go high too.
He's pretty
He's a
good.
pretty good guy.
Obviously, you got
Ollie
Ollie
Gordon.
Gordon. He's really good.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on.
Miami has a pretty good running back, but I'm not sure if he's draft eligible. Jeremiah Love is not draft eligible yet, so
He's,
it won't be this year.
You got it's that guy from Oregon. He's solid. Jordan James, I think, is his name.
He's pretty
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah, you could probably see him going.
What about his dude that plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh, Trevor
Trevor
Etienne,
Etienne.
Yeah.
out of Georgia.
Yeah,
Kind of an underwhelming season, I feel like.
I think so, but I think
Is he
just
a
like
junior?
intangibles and size is going to get him
That's true,
drafted.
yeah.
I think so.
You
he's
just
got, like, a
can't
great-
teach. He's super
obviously,
fast too.
your brothers.
NFL, you know. But
He's a junior. I don't know if he may come back.
Yeah.
Here, I think. We'll see.
I think he does.
crew members can take a shot too.
Oh, this is
What
great.
happened here?
Oh, this is great.
What happened? Crew
Roll the
members.
clips.
Crew members are getting ran over. Oh yeah.
Boom.
Oh, you just got lit up. Boom. Oh yeah.
The camera
That's
guy
gotta-
went down.
Oh,
too.
look at dude. Look how such a good guy. I mean, that crew member, boys, you got jet up, dude.
First the security guard, then the boom guy, and the
Yeah.
camera guy both went down.
Taking bodies,
AJ,
Saquon Barkley, dude.
AJ Brown running into you while you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
my gosh.
Oh my god. That is a 6.
And we got a ref
5.
taking a headshot.
This
What
was
is
hilarious.
happening in top place?
Boy,
Nice. That's a 1 in a million shot. Bang. Oh, that's awesome.
I
That's a
think
1
that-
in a million shot.
That grants an extra point for the Panthers, so
That's an
only-
extra-
They only lose by 2 points.
That's an extra point. If you dude,
Yeah.
that's like at least 10 points.
I think
That's a snipe.
That's a
I mean,
snipe.
come on.
You kick that thing perfect where it comes right down on the net and the dude's giving his signal and it bonks him in the head. Dude, that's awesome, dude. I love our top plays.
So this
He
next
wasn't ready for this one.
one- Oh yeah.
Pretty vague. We will find out. Watch this.
They're not even near the ball. They're not even
You
near
got
the
it,
ball.
Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
your head
that's
on the
fine.
swivel.
You gotta keep your head
That
on
guy
the
said,
swivel.
I didn't hear no whistle. I didn't hear no whistle. You played
I-
with a whistle till the
I
final whistle.
I didn't hear no whistle. Yeah, buddy. Best play
Oh, that's
call
a
of
hit.
the weekend. Is this Kevin Harlan or is this Gus Johnson?
Oh, this comes coaching here. This will
Oh,
be
okay.
a coaching play call.
Oh, Jesus.
Best play of the weekend.
What are we doing? What was that? Louisville versus Georgia Tech?
NC State.
No,
Oh,
that's
NC State,
yeah.
Oh my God.
NC State.
Yeah, I think
Phillip
Philip Rivers ain't there no
I
more.
think I sent that in. I was like, this is not a top play, but it's just funny.
Yeah,
'cause,
what
like,
could
are
go?
you doing?
Yeah, what could go wrong? Yeah,
That's up there with like when you
You
the
remember?
Giants 2-point screen or when the Colts
I was gonna say. You remember when they just had like one? They had
they
one
had
time,
like one guy on their center, like everyone else is split out wide.
but they had 4 down linemen. It was the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick wasn't.
Dude,
falling
there's
for that
like
crap.
3 guys in front of your center,
Yeah,
and then they try to run
a sneak.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure Pat
no.
McAfee took the snap on that.
No
one.
He
kidding,
was.
that didn't work. It was like some like gunner that like took it, like some no name like gunner, and I was like,
I
what?
thought it was McAfee because it was a Colts.
Yeah,
I think they split McAfee out wide or something. Like he was gonna go catch a pass. They had like a gunner lined up under center.
I'll look it up.
Dumbest
What an
dumbest play in
insane
the NFL history.
Yeah.
Well, the Giants, they're like whatever screen pass. They
I think
took.
that was when they had that Ben McAdoo dude as their head coach. Remember when they had him?
Oh,
I thought.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was Chuck Pagano.
honestly, I think it was.
Well, the Giants won.
Oh,
Remember
oh,
when the Giants ran that really awful 2-point conversion?
I'm talking about this year against the Steelers on Monday
Oh,
night. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
Where they had the look like none of the offensive linemen blocked them. Right? They just let Alex Highsmith.
Oh, yeah,
block
that's right. That's right. Just ran right through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A 54-yard game winner for the upset. Uh-oh.
Here it is. And it's the only 2 Pac-12 teams playing.
So that helped
54
Oregon State punch their
yards.
ticket to the Pac-12 championship.
There's still a Pac-12. Shout out Pac-12, man.
Yeah.
You're just hanging on by a
Yeah.
thread, dude.
They got
Honestly,
2
that game
teams in there.
kinda
that
was
still
on
have
my
a championship.
Or I don't know. I don't know if they're actually having a game, or if that game was just the Pac-12 championship, essentially. Whether it
Was it?
So if that's the case, Oregon State won the Pac-12 with a losing record.
Yeah. We mentioned it earlier. Ohio State just ran roughshod over Indiana. Just wasn't ready. Part of that, Caleb Downs transferred from Alabama to Ohio State, get more playing time. Well, he's using that playing time to his advantage.
Making the most of it.
He couldn't see the field at Alabama. He's seen the field at Ohio State, and he made the most of it. Watch this. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Shout out Gus Johnson. You know,
Call.
and it's like one of those things, man, where like, you know, everybody, you can have the coaching, you can have the X's and O's. Sometimes it's about the Jimmies and Joes, and you don't have Caleb Williams or Caleb Downs, and they do. And that ball game was over early into that first half. It was just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
a completely different level on the offensive and defensive line that Indiana just wasn't prepared for.
Ohio State took that game very seriously. They looking to send a message to the committee.
Oh yeah.
And I think they did, buddy.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
they definitely sent a message.
Blocked field goal return. I love these players.
Love a good special teams play.
It was like right there. Minnesota. Nice.
Blocked the PAT attempt.
The Fighting PJ Flex of Western Michigan. That's where he got his name built up. Rode the boat. Rode the
Minnesota,
boat.
man, gave Penn State all they could handle.
All they could handle, man. They really did.
That was amazing.
James Franklin is not one of these coaches that I think is one of the better coaches in college football.
We're
Penn
seeing
State,
it when
I've
they
never
play
in my
games.
entire life thought Penn State was this team that's on this pedestal that deserves just to be talked about in the highest regard, like every other team in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
They lose every big game they've ever
I
been.
really do. I can't remember
I
the
don't
last
get
time-
it with them.
When's the last time Penn State really went on like a run?
Right.
Like
When's
with,
the last
with
run?
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
And even then, they only won like 7 games.
Yeah.
it's like
You know what I mean? Like,
and
they had
that,
Christian Hackenberger, and I think that, they
Yeah.
lost to Iowa in a 6-3 ball game on like one of their Nittany Lions Saturday night games where they do the whiteout and they do the whole thing with the lights and it's all the pomp and circumstance. And they lost a 6-3 game to Iowa with Christian whatever his name was.
I can't even think of the last time like Penn State was like seriously considered like a national championship
Yeah.
contender.
They lost in a Big Ten championship to Illinois when it was like 06-07 when Illinois had he was a running back. He played for the Steelers in the 2010 Super Bowl and fumbled with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he was the running back for the Fighting Illini, and they ran all over Penn State, all over. And it was like, oh, this is the year Penn State, the Rose Bowl thing. They're like, playing in the Rose Bowl in the Big Ten championship for whatever reason. And they were like, all right, we're going to play here. They played there. Don't know what was going on anywhere else, but that's where they played. And they got blown out, dude. Wasn't even close. Richard Mendenhall is his name. That was all that they had. That was all that they had. And he got the ball like 38 times for like 250 and 3 touchdowns that game.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last time Penn State has ever been
I think they're
somewhat relevant.
Penn
in the
State's
Big Ten.
another team that's like they're probably going to get upset round one if I had to guess.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Like if they because like
Like
there's a good
Miami,
chance-
Penn State, who would you take?
Miami.
I'd take Miami.
I think there's a good chance Penn State gets an SEC team round one. The SEC team.
Yeah.
Take it.
Penn State is a really slow style of play too.
They do.
Where like
And their defense isn't even all that good to have it as slow style.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like they could score 24 points in a really long, slow drives against Miami and still allow like 40 points.
No, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
USF ripping Tulsa's heart out.
Oh, this plays sick.
Oh my
Dropped
gosh.
right into his hands. Right into his
Oh,
hands.
look what I found, boys.
Yeah. That's why you never give up on the play.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why your coaches preach hustle, hustle, hustle. Yeah,
That's
9
awesome.
out of 10 times that guy's probably gonna outrun you through the end zone. But that was the 10th time,
Yeah.
and you got yourself a takeaway.
You did. Illinois, last second touchdown. This was the play that we mentioned before. I think this might be probably the top play winner, just because this was so chaotic. But yeah, Illinois, definitely for college football. This is definitely the top play of the day for college football. Look at that. What kind of defense was that?
I know. There's 4 guys.
To preface, we didn't get to see them line up in the field goal formation, but for all the listeners and viewers out there, Illinois lined up for like a 50 some odd yard field goal. They called timeout, 52 yard or whatever it was. They called timeout to ice the kicker. They got like the practice swing in, and the coaches were like, "Nah, this ain't gonna happen. We gotta go for it on 4th down." They did. They converted, and they won the game.
And it was like
How are you not protecting the goal line?
it's like they came out like a prevent defense, but all the prevent was to like
One side of the like. Why are you running on the other side of the field?
That guy catches it and then he just cuts it back up down the right side.
Exactly.
There's nobody
there.
Like,
He had more blockers than defenders.
Right.
How did you get your defense that out of position? I mean, just
right.
You're gonna let them catch it and then just like rally up and like you gotta cover all sides of the field. Oh, that's why Rutgers is bottom team of the Big Ten.
Tackled by his own blocker, huh? That's what we got.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna save this chirp and return later.
That's sick.
Oh Jesus!
Nobody
Nobody respects LSU. Bang, Vanderbilt playing tough, dude. What are those ugly freaking uniforms? They're wearing mustard yellow uniforms at LSU.
Helmets and white pants.
LSU,
boys.
what are you doing? You have the market cornered with the purple and yellow, dude.
Right. That's what.
Sick home uniform.
It's like a golden yellow.
Yeah.
What? That's
mustard.
mustard. Like, what are we doing?
I was saying this on Friday. It's like Notre Dame. They have their like iconic brand.
Yeah.
You don't stray away from your iconic brand.
Right.
I've been hearing this the past 2 weeks. The ESPN and Baton Rouge guys have been giving LSU.
Oh, I bet.
The walkthrough.
I bet. Yeah.
Every other week. It doesn't even matter if they win or lose. They'll start giving them craps on the uniforms. You don't stray away.
No.
You don't stray away from your
No.
from your iconic brand. Like
You
that.
don't see the Raiders going away from the silver and black.
But listen, to
Yeah.
compare LSU's colors, Lakers got the same colors. They don't deviate from that. I mean, it's always some variation of the purple and gold, like, and it works. And it's iconic, and people always like it. I don't know why we're trying to get too cutesy and creative. Like,
Especially when you already lost 4 games and you're not in it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on now.
I don't know. Like, if you're gonna change it up, like, why would you change the yellow to mustard?
Yeah,
on.
that's
Yeah, to mustard.
Hell of a hit, though.
Hell of a hit.
That,
Vandy's playing tough.
yeah.
That's no slut. You're not going to just, we're playing Vanderbilt. We're going to win by 30. They're going to punch into them.
Oh yeah.
The sound of that hit too.
I think LSU won by like 2 points or something.
It was a close.
It was
close game.
close.
We have a big man pick 6. We are pro
Yes,
big man
we
here
do.
until the final whistle.
Please give your big men the
Keep
ball
bringing
and
it
let
in.
them run.
And we will
Keep
have you.
football.
If you're a fat guy and you score a touchdown, you are going to be on until
You're
the final
getting
whistle.
those
right.
touchdowns.
He barely made it.
Barely. He barely made it.
Yeah, he's
He started huffing and puffing about right there. Like, all right.
oh,
Oh,
taking
what
it
a
out at
senior
the
day.
50
Yeah, that's,
and running it.
Coach, I'm only used to running like 10 yards here, buddy. Like, I gotta run
Get
all
him on
this.
the
Dude,
outside.
what
Oh,
are
you
talking
know,
about?
he was huffing.
Oh, he was on the oxygen. On the
He
sideline.
probably had to take the next series off. They're like, all right, get the backup in there. Because he scores a touchdown, you got to get right back out there for defense. They're like, all right, no, you're
Kobe Bryant.
he's back.
He's
Oh.
back.
This is another person named Kobe Bryant.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Oh yeah. What was that play by Kyler Murray there?
Yeah. You got to throw that one out.
Yeah,
And he
Yeah,
tried
that
to, and he tried to do the Marshawn Lynch, beast quake thing. That was funny. Yeah, that was an awful pass. Too.
I have no idea
31. What are
doing.
you throwing? He's like on the and he just like shot put it like throw it out of bounds, dude, or like your guy was wide open there underneath.
Yeah.
Just like stop your momentum from running and plant your feet. You had time on that sideline.
Right. He could have gotten that out.
I think he
I
got.
know there was a defender closing, but he had space.
You had
Could have done
space.
something better than give up a pick six.
Yeah.
I think it was fourth down in Kyler's defense, but
Was
it's
it?
like obviously you got to try to get that completion, but still just a boneheaded throw there.
Dude,
You can't,
Baker,
like with all that traffic there, you can't just lollipop it
yeah, you can't
in the
lollipop.
middle of that.
We mentioned it earlier with Baker Mayfield being one of the guys that's keeping the fun in the NFL. Did you guys see his celebration after that touchdown?
Yeah.
Tommy
He
DeVito.
gave him the Tommy D. Selly right back into his face. We love it. We're here for it. Baker Mayfield, shout out.
I think he does it after this too. I think he did it.
Oh yeah. Yes. We
I
are
love
here for it.
that.
I love that
Dude,
dude.
just leaping over a defender,
Putting
leaving
his
himself
body on.
completely open.
He's
at
so
that shot.
small out there, dude.
He got smacked.
He's so small, dude.
He takes
Watching
some
him,
shots.
dude, I love Baker Mayfield, man.
Part
Everybody
of the
talks.
lion, that dude.
They
Oh, yeah.
talk
Part of
so
the
much
line.
crap about him. I wonder if you could go back and pull all the freaking Cleveland Browns fans. I bet they are kicking themselves for getting rid of that guy.
Yeah. Oh well, they all thought, he was the problem with the team, and like, get rid of him and bring somebody else in, and this team will
No.
be better. You paid all this money for Deshaun Watson, who came in and played like crap. Jameis he's playing all right.
But I'd rather have Baker. I mean, he won a playoff game in Pittsburgh. One of the biggest bets I ever won in my life was I had a parlay, the Browns money line and the over.
Dude, he nearly beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Right.
Like,
and I'm like,
the-
dude, you have
the
a quarterback that
failed
wins
to
a
let
road
The
playoff.
defense failed him. The
who was
defense
that, like
failed.
Chad Henne that came in when Mahomes got hurt?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then let that guy
yeah.
like run for first downs.
Like left and right, yeah. They left him
Yeah.
open.
Like, come
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But this next play, I was so mad at the freaking Bears, dude. Like their secondaries played solid, and like I was a Bears fan this last Sunday, even though I hate the freaking Bears. I needed them to like actually win a freaking football game. They did not. Jordan Addison with this insane catch. I don't even know how he caught it. You see the Bears defender at the end of this play, like how did he catch that ball? This is nuts. Jordan Addison makes a great play. Vikings win. Somehow the Vikings win in overtime. Much more coming up from that later. But this is a play that really helped the Minnesota Vikings. And their offense was kind of sputtering up until like leading up in there. They had a few penalties. They were backed up. Like that drive, that was like their like second drive of the game or whatever. Like the Bears like scored first, and like that play kind of like woke up their offense a little bit, where it was like
gave him life.
gave them a little bit of life there. And I was like,
Like up until that point too, like Hawkinson had no catches, and then after that,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like that opened him up, and he was just finding soft spots all over the field. And
Yeah.
really got them going.
Caleb Williams probably played his best game of his young career.
I kind of feel bad for me. Like
Yeah.
he's
Sunday?
played like well in a couple of these like past two losses. Like not like against the Commanders, he got them down the field when it mattered to take the lead, and then his defense chokes. And then like against the Packers, again, set them up in the right position. Kind of a coaching coaching malpractice there, not trying
Yeah.
to like use your timeouts
No,
to get closer.
no, yeah.
And then again, like he like got the game tied up and then in overtime, and then
Yeah.
he gets just blasted.
This was his first passing touchdown since Carolina 6 weeks ago, and his first touchdown pass on U.S. soil in 5 weeks. Yeah.
Like he hasn't played great. But I'm saying like when it's mattered, he's played well.
He's
in
played-
in some good
He's
situations.
played okay if
Yeah.
your team is awful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
like
Yeah.
at the very
like that's just like the best way
these
to
past
play.
few losses, like, there's just a couple losses you can't really put on him. It's like
Yeah,
could he have done a little more earlier in the game? Sure, but like when it mattered, he got his team in the right position.
he did. And this was one of the plays that he made that I was like, okay, like
Fantasy question coming in.
coming in.
What defenses would you stream for week 16 and 17? I'm looking at Colts and maybe even Jaguars as options. I have the Texans and maybe the Chiefs refs Mahomes week 16. Not sure if I should cut Texans here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Texans defense. So you're thinking
I wouldn't
16
even
and 17.
have. Yeah,
Let me take a look at those.
I
leagues.
wouldn't even have the Texans on my team, honestly, with you, Z. Honestly, dude, out of your options, call me crazy. I'm probably going Jaguars defense just because, like, I mean, at least they create some turnovers. If those are your only options,
Yeah.
you know,
Colts aren't bad against the Titans. They're just kind of turnover prone. I do like that for week 16. If that's what your options are. Week 17, Colts. Then they have the Giants. So those are two offenses that are pretty turnover prone.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards the Colts. I just think they've got the bet offenses where they're just gonna have a lot of chances to generate turnovers.
Yeah.
I would lean towards the Colts. I think they're just a little bit better
Yeah.
defensively than the Jaguars are too. Like the Jaguars definitely have a chance to get gashed. So if you're looking for a team to stream defenses for that week, definitely go with the Colts in my opinion.
Green Bay is not a bad option week 16. I'm pretty sure that's Monday night against the Saints.
So the Packers are available. Try and get them. And
Yeah.
then I don't know if this is the case in your league, but the Chargers defense, I know this is usually available in a lot of the leagues I'm in.
Yeah, Green
Same
Bay is an option week 16. I'd go Green Bay.
Yeah.
That's
If you can get
Saints
the
Packers.
Chargers for week 17, they got the Pats. That's a good favorable matchup for them. Again,
Not
I'm not
bad.
sure how it goes in your league. I've just been noticing the number of mine that people don't seem to have the Chargers. They kind of let them go. All right, we're gonna get back to
Yeah,
our
this
last
was the play that Caleb Williams kind of gave signs of life for the Chicago
Yeah.
Bears. I think this is probably his best pass so far of his young career. Yeah, that was a great pass. That was a great play.
Another situation where you got like a quarterback that's got a lot of like great like physical abilities and a special skill set that's just gonna go to waste here on the Chicago Bears offense because they can't develop them the right way.
My guy Tucker Kraft staying in division, dude. This guy just figure out a way to get him a freaking football, dude. Because he gets a tight end screen here. Watch this play. He absolutely destroyed
the ball twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when Josh Jacobs is just running
that's-
all over, it's like whatever. But I mean, he watch him truck his own center in this game,
Oh yeah.
right at the end of this.
Yeah, pushed into
He
his own
launched his center 5 yards into the end zone. Like
He
they
said,
even
"Move,
showed
bro,"
him. They were
guy.
like,
The
bro,
replay. It didn't even
he-
show him score.
he just gave him like a little forearm shiver too and launched him 5 yards in the end zone. That was funny.
Oh, that guy's he's special.
He's
Love
scratching the
athleticism.
surface. Shout out South Dakota State Jack Rabbits, dude. 5th round draft pick. No
You
big deal,
you give it a year or two, he's gonna top
dude.
3
Oh,
tight
easy.
end in the league. I think.
And he's versatile. Like he's a stud blocking too.
I know, like
He's scratching the surface.
the era of like Kittle, like Kelsey and Mark Andrews is kind of coming to an end.
Yeah,
Soon
Tucker
we're
Kraft
seeing
could
Tucker
be in there.
Kraft, Trey McBride,
Trey McBride.
maybe Laporta.
And they're all,
Yeah,
they're
we'll
all
see.
so much faster.
Your boy Cortland Sutton had a great catch
Oh yeah,
in this game. Let's watch this.
he loves the boss people.
Snag on Jack Jones.
And that pretty much sealed the victory. as soon as he got that touchdown.
After
Game
that interception and that touchdown, I was like, yeah, Broncos won.
Guys, we got to get to it. I think this might be the top play. Kavontae Turpin, this return.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I think this is probably like the play of the week. This is the top play of the week here.
This is for our number one fan, Sabrina.
Yeah, shout out Sabrina.
Yeah.
This was absolutely awesome.
Getting your Cowboys in there.
Oh, what did happen? There we go.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my god.
Just a Madden spin move.
I know.
Wow.
Video game move right
Video
there.
game move. And then,
That
like,
was
not to be outdone, like,
Disgusting.
the Washington Commanders, like, how did that even, like, turn into a competitive football game after that?
They couldn't score early. That,
Yeah.
like, the first half of that game
Dude.
was so boring.
It was like
There
6-3
was nothing.
at halftime.
Yeah,
Right.
There was
It
nothing
was like
going on.
13-9 going into the
Fourth
fourth quarter. And the
And then
final
40
score was 34-26.
There was 40 points in the fourth quarter. Dude.
If they scored just two
fourth-
touchdowns in the
right.
first half,
It was like its
It's
own.
it's a
It was like
completely
its
different
own game in the fourth quarter because like
Totally.
the Cowboys scored 24 in the fourth, or they scored 17, I believe, and then the Commanders scored 24. It just wasn't enough. But
Jaden Smith had a tiptoe touchdown. I like when like all these touchdowns like go down the sideline. You get to see some athleticism. This is a good play. Yeah, that's always tough.
college
He's
action.
lucky. Yeah, he's lucky that he was
Only
playing
one
college
foot.
college football rules there. But I just want to get into that one.
Oh.
June Thomas onside. Oh, this was the onside kick return.
yeah.
Yeah, this was absolutely insane. We got to watch this.
Just breaks through.
Look at this. It's 27-26. And that happened because Washington scored on a long, like 80-yard, one pass, 80 yards.
right,
Terry McLaurin, the Cowboys defense, what are
should
you
have been a
doing?
tie game. too.
Should have been a tie game. You smoked the
Abs-
extra point
Absolutely disgusting work to score an 80-yard touchdown like that
and then
get stolen by
smoke
a
an extra.
kicker.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrendous.
I
It was a
would
low
have
snap.
been sick to my stomach.
It was a low snap.
But
They
it was a
still
good
got
hold.
the ball.
Like,
He
like
still got the ball.
if you watch it, like the kicker, the holder, like he recovered the low snap and gave him a good hold. That was a good.
Yeah,
Like he
still got the
recovered
ball.
it well. Like Cyber
Yeah.
just he just chunked it.
smoked it. Who can stop Saquon Barkley?
nobody.
Nobody.
Gone. And this is garbage time.
Yeah, this is garbage.
He doesn't
time.
even need to do that.
Just to cap it off for all the
Yeah.
fantasy guys and sports bettors.
Yep.
Love you, Saquon.
Just in case if it didn't go over for you,
Saving my fantasy team.
single-handedly.
Oh my
Speaking of Madden moves, they added that 360.
I saw that they did
stand
that. man.
hurdle to
I saw
Madden.
that they did that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But
Yeah.
I don't like that everybody can do it.
Yeah, no.
That should be
It should be
specifically
specifically Saquon,
Exactly.
brother.
Exactly.
Maybe
That-
it is just right. Or
Like the
can-
old games. were
Everybody
like
can do it.
Oh, that's stupid.
The old games were like that.
Right.
There'd be like specific guys out there, specific animations.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a year. You see a yearly
Yep.
game decline. Back to
Yep.
top plays. I could talk about that for 7 hours.
I know,
straight,
right?
dog.
We got one more play before we have our show closed. Jared Verse probably man, dude, one of the best young rookie. I mean,
Rookie of the year.
him and
Defensive
Quinyon,
rookie of the year.
him and Quinyon Mitchell are battling for that at the
Yeah.
end of the year,
It's
dude.
head-to-head.
Because I mean, he's awesome too. But we'll see. Jared Verse, dog.
This wins it for him, in my opinion. Boom. That's Jordan Mailata. He's
Right.
fucking pancakes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's an all-pro tackling Jordan Mailata too, and he just mowed them down.
That was a great battle last night too, because like 2 plays before that, Jared Verse got pancaked by Jordan Mailata. They were going back and forth.
Final thoughts, boys. What do we think for coming up? Carnage and chaos, or more of the same? You're all these top teams just gonna.
Oh yeah,
Final thoughts.
Carnage
Boring
and chaos.
fo-
I
boring
think you're
football.
seeing at least one team that's in the playoffs from each conference. They're going to be out, and
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing two 10-win teams go down in the round one of the college football playoff. Book it right here.
I like it. All that, much more. Boys, great show. We will
Yes,
see
it
you
was.
Wednesday.
We'll be back.
8 to 10 on Wednesday. We will preview the Monday Night Football game, get into our pick, and much more. Stay tuned with us. Love you. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
Good show today, fellas. While discussing the playoff implications here.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you just pull on that.
Yeah.
See, okay.
That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, yeah.
thank you
Dude, so you-
to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go on the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to tune out.
I gotta go do my About Town bullshit today.
Wow, one of your last projects?
My last projects, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Get done with this shit. I might start some fucking journalism classes at Red Rocks Community College. Beginning of the new year, but
That's what I've been thinking since I want to move out of state. If I
Yeah.
could find a job somewhere and just fucking
Totally,
go to
dude.
school for journalism or something, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Going back just
should.
one last time.
yeah, you should. You're young, dude. Your world's your oyster.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Just fucking do it, dude. If you want to do it, do it. It literally doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't, dude. You know what I mean? It just doesn't.
There's people fucking worried about aliens in the fucking ocean and shit. So
Just
there's
do it.
always gonna be, even if it's real news or not, there's always gonna be something. to
I'm
report on.
38 years old and I've changed careers 3 different times.
There's
It
always something to
literally
report
does.
on.
There's always something, bro. I live my life based on a movie quote, and it's kind of stupid. Get busy living or get busy dying. And if you want to move out of town, I highly recommend moving out of state. You're somewhere where you're not from, dude, go and fucking make it. And so you're able to I'm gonna give myself a year. You know what I mean? And then give yourself another year, and just set really easy goals for yourself to just fucking do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, yeah.
Cause that's what I'm doing, dude. I literally, I was I've done the corporate thing. I've made the dream job. I want to make $75,000 a year and have 2 weeks paid vacation. Did it? Trust me, overrated. Doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. Nobody gives a fuck. The world doesn't give a fuck.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You might as fucking well just do whatever the fuck you want. Make
I
yourself
wish I
happy.
could live my life where everything doesn't have to be about money.
There's this
I'm with you.
comedian, Tim Dillon. He has a podcast.
Yeah.
He was talking about, he was pretty much these young people have pretty much figured out that we live in a scam world.
Right.
And if you kind of just live your life a little bit of a fucking con artist, you are going to be
You're
right
just
up there with all those people, everybody else.
Yeah.
You'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Where's the TikTok studio?
Oh, I already closed it.
Oh, you did? We're not live?
Yeah,
No.
I ended it. One of my goals right now may have an insanely high crime rate, maybe one of the world's fucking murder capitals. But if I could save up enough money to go live in New Orleans, I'm fucking doing it. Can move out and get a job somewhere out there, that'd be fucking sick. 'Cause when I was young, obviously, the main thing that made me be a Saints fan was just the fact that fucking New Orleans is a full-time party. Because when I was a kid, obviously the NFL wasn't telling me about the crime rate and the murder in New Orleans. They were telling me about the fucking pregame, people walking around with trumpets like it's a fucking parade before a game. Like we get smacked by 30. It's like, if the people are that fucking happy about a football team, then that's be a good ass place to fucking live.
Yeah, it would be. No, I mean New Orleans is dope. Though. I mean, you got such a vibrant like city and culture.
Oh yeah, I was fucking like 9, 10 years old. Fell in love with that place.
I've been there. It's a sick place. You got all the, I don't know, just like the area around it. You got all the like the swamps, the bayous. Like, it's a kind of just a cool area in general. Very like unique and like fun type of ecosystem. By the Gulf too, so it's like great food. I mean, the key
Oh yeah,
to die for. So
we fucking dream job, ESPN 104.5 in fucking New Orleans. Fucking my boy Matt Moscano and fucking his boy Hunt, legends.
be all right.
You guys want to work on our intro real quick?
Yeah, that will. What post social stuff do we got to do? Have you downloaded it yet?
Yeah, I downloaded it.
Okay.
We just got to do the Twitch and
Yeah. Pick out some reels. Oh, we should probably turn this encoder off.
oh yeah.
Is it? Yeah. It's,
And I haven't checked with the guy from where our show plays on Saturday. So he's got dealing with a bunch of like cancer stuff right now. Joel was telling me he's been in and out of the hospital, but once I know he's back and well, I'll see how our show's doing over there on their Roku
Word.
page.
For NSS or whatever.
Because it's playing the whole Monday show now.
Nice.
Yeah. So we just got the 3 hours on Saturday.
Cool.
oh, hell yeah.
I'm not sure what Bourbon and Ball was doing, but they were doing reruns.
Yeah.
It was fantasy baseball.
I saw one that was a rerun. I was like, this is from the fucking regular season game. And I was like, okay.
I figured they would go and talk about some college baseball and like
Yeah.
pretty early preseason for that, but
Good
they
point.
still had some like. I thought they would continue, but they'll be back next season with fucking baseball. They do a weekly draft on their fantasy league, so they draft a whole new team every week.
Oh, nice.
Their league
Yes.